You guys plan on doing anything tonight? You and Monica, Sis Monica, by any
Um,
chance? She had
we
discussed
did,
anything.
we did, we did something last night, but I
Last
think
night,
we
okay,
wanted to finish up some stuff too. That what we talking about. So I'm gonna actually see if we can get her on.
gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
so, but yeah, this would actually be a good segue into all of that.
Yeah, what y'all speak on the other day? Was it the just
So
talk about market stuff in general?
yeah, and she was really talking about I think Sam's. She was doing some, I guess, some
Okay,
business with
the
some
drop shipping.
people. Yeah, and just looking up little stuff, and then we got into some environmental stuff. Oh well, no, Andre came on talking about the company Zim. I think it's an Israeli
Okay,
company. Um, and he was just tell us about that stock or whatnot, and then we started talking about environmental. And I told her I watched a couple of documentaries on how powerful these storms are becoming when it comes to tornadoes, hurricanes, volcano eruptions, earthquakes. And we got into that for a little while. So
okay,
we were just
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Round
So
robin a little bit too. Okay.
yeah. So but yeah, man, we definitely got to talk about the market as a whole, though, for sure. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's again, it's definitely been a it's been doing this thing, of course. Again, we know about cycles. It's just in a cycle. We kind of hit peak euphoria, and we in a sustainment period now. Whether that next leg is a consolidation leg or distribution leg or whatever, or it's a more turn down and regroup leg, and it's all based upon again the projected growth. Uh, what comes from the policy of a new administration. Again, it's an old refurbished playbook, but then again, you know, it's a new regimen, so to speak, right? It's like, okay, yeah, your exo might have stayed, but you got new, chief warrant officers, and you got,
Yeah,
a few more new players in the game that have maybe some different influence on that particular, company structure or where they may be trying to go. And we kind of already know where, at least from face value, what Trump is trying to do. What's
yeah.
going on over Jay? Jay Sheldon in the building, Officer Dr. Monica Lamb in the building. Love to see her in the building as always. Over Jesse in the building. What's going on, everybody? Peace, power, profit to everybody on YouTube. Just
Peace,
doing a
bro.
tap in. Been a minute, but on the way back from the hairdresser, I'm doing old bootleg, live stream. uh, I got a little time before I get to the house. I was like, I was watching over Chris video earlier. He was, speaking on the topic of markets, and I just wanted to kind of in the region. Especially on rush hour or something. Let me get in that. What's going on? Okay, some small coming in there. There you go. Yeah, so I'm in the YouTube chat as well, guys. Y'all want to pop in and speak on the topic a little bit? We'll kind of preface it by, um, what Over Chris was speaking about in terms of his build early, where he was speaking to the effect of. I'll let him explain it, of course, but different type of markets out there in terms of their value, right? When you're doing a value assessment of certain markets. And I think certain markets, we talking about discretionary, novelty items, collector's items up against, a founded company, if you will, right? Um, in terms of growth potential and, margin value and all those things like that. So again, I watched over Chris video. We'll make sure we get a chance to get this link on this video when we do put it up too, so you can go back and watch the original video. Maybe I can get a chance to throw it in the chat. If you can't, over, you can throw it in the YouTube chat if you get a chance as well. But it was speaking to the idea of whether or not Pokemon collecting cards were more lucrative than that of equity stocks and or crypto, right? Which is kind of, by face value, a person who's already invested in the markets, they'll instantly say, well, that's a that's a weird comparison, right? But again, it falls into the marketplace. It has a marketplace for it, but we understand that there's levels to marketing, or different markets, excuse me, and so to speak. So it just kind of comes with the territory. What's going on over Eva Monica? I was about to say over Monica. Eva Monica, what's going on, Dr. Lamb? I don't know if she's coming in the room a little bit here. Our profits on YouTube, checking in a little bit on this impromptu live stream. Okay, I got everything in there now, so I can put my cellular phone down and drive a little bit here. I don't want no VA state trooper to run up on me. Yeah, can y'all guys hear me still? You can hear me over, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you over.
Okay. Yeah, just put that thing down where I can drive and talk. As long as my earpiece loud, y'all let me know if the volume low or anything or it's crackling. I'll adjust it
Okay,
where necessary.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So again, just speaking on that topic over Chris, and again, the title, there's markets and then there's markets, right? If there's the market, then there's markets, right?
Right,
And that's basically, again, a kind of synopsis of the conversation over Chris was, explaining within his video that he put out with, again, a guy that's, said that, Pokemon collecting cards is more lucrative than investing in stocks in crypto, so to speak, right? In a roundabout way of saying it, or just equities, right? Um, so again, just coming from that understanding, because what do you think? Uh, what was the basis of why he would make such an argument like that? And from your point of view,
well, probably because he did his own study and research about certain Pokemon cards and
yeah,
all their different products and how they're valued and how much somebody probably sold for it, which goes back to what you said is discretionary collectible market.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So he would feel confident in that because that's his niche. That's where he's invested
right,
in. And so if I didn't know anything about the stock market or like the crypto market, I would of course would say, you know, false. You know, Pokemon,
right,
man, Pokemon, I can make, so much money and whatnot until you get, some knowledge of the market, which will be the stock market, which is the behemoth and the father and mother of it all.
right. It's the market that sets the market.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
It's the market that houses the market. I should say it that way. That's a better way of saying it. It's like an envelope
Right,
scenario. There's the letters, but then there's the envelope, right?
exactly. Because at first he was comparing it to sneakers,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah,
Okay.
you got a point there. But when it comes to you
Yeah.
know foundated
That's the
companies,
mono type of comparison, though. So they,
right?
sneaker in the car.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, agreed. So I'm just like, you trying to compare, you know, an index that forecasts a group of sectors that
hmm
the economy is based on, how the economy
right.
runs. You know, you talking about Walmart, you talking about Amazon, you talking about all of these different
Mhm.
companies, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, there's no way you could say
yeah.
this.
You can make that comparison.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it was just just a little a teaching piece. Like, bro, you
the
look
teaching
around,
moment. Yeah,
right? You go to
yeah,
Nike, you go to these other companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies, and you're buying products and
yeah.
services from them. So if that company can offer you that, what do you think a Pokemon product is going to do?
Right, right. And it's
That
only
was just
as
basic.
yeah. Again, it's only as valuable as, again, the market of discretionary, income will allow it to be. We talk about when we talk about use case items that have value or prestigious value. Again, that's a Rolex watch. You can still wear that. It still has a use case, a Rolex, right? Beyond the craftsmanship aspect of it, in terms of
Right.
collective scenario, if you will. Rare air earth type paintings, old school Rembrandts and Picassos and, and those type scenarios, right? That's a whole different market. You just talking about, now you're talking about antiquity, right?
Right.
You would never get another because i.e. the artist passed and this, that, and the third. And it's based upon that level of collective value that there's scarce. That level of scarcity is there.
Right.
Uh, you know, so people put a price on scarcity in some cases. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right about that. I was just like, brother, I hope you don't think this is a retirement plan, because
Yeah.
you will
Well,
be
you would definitely want
sorely.
to be diversified.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to
exactly.
diversify. Yeah, yeah,
But like I said, if you're doing it,
yeah,
and you flipping money, flipping it for
yeah,
some money, like I
yeah,
totally get it. Totally get it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah. And
not an answer
that
I
would
give,
be
but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
what it is. No, you're right. No, I just saying that would be what it's a market where you're dealing with, traders, so to speak. You're dealing with, it's more bartering than it is, you know, actual, market appreciation value based upon, you know, uh, a lot of nuts and bolts that goes into investing in the company, what the company does to produce growth and, value for their shareholders.
Right.
It's a well, you know, it's a it would be more of a fluid bartering system, so to speak, because most of those guys they trade out and collecting for their own, puzzle piece, so to speak. You know,
Mhm.
um, because there's no other use case beyond that. I mean, there's the Pokemon game, but that you know
Yeah.
they're not really doing a whole lot. It's not like playing spades. You ain't throwing down them. You ain't slapping them on the table. You know,
Yeah.
like you playing spades or something. So it's collective. Like again, Marvel comic books, things of that nature. Again, there's a lot of other things within that novelty market. Um, but yeah, the comparative to that of equities and stocks, yeah, you will find those hit or miss Pokemon pieces that may be worth something, but you know, they're not a rolling, they're not based upon, a rolling scale of potential growth that a company could provide you.
Right.
Again, just how you rate that up against like a stock like Nvidia.
Right.
It was doing its natural business as usual, and as they continuously innovate, and then they hit a growth spurt. In comes AI. You know,
Right.
the hardware that produces they make a lot of the picks and shovels, so to speak, right? The gold with, and the exponential that company went definitely up in the stratosphere of the tree and all the valuations overnight. It already had the potential before the AI perspective kicked in because again we were already headed toward a more technological, use case environment where you need, semiconductors to power things with, or basically, give you the compute value. So yeah, it's definitely a long comparison, to make that kind of, assessment. But it was interesting when I saw it. So
Yeah.
definitely, guys, go
Sure.
check the video out. He's already posted in the back chat on YouTube. Go watch the video for yourself.
And I even threw options trading and day trading in that too. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
even with an options contract, I'm just like, we can buy like leap calls or puts.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, brother,
Durational. Yeah,
yeah. I'm just even when you want to compare that, I'm just like, man, I'm telling you that the gains can be substantial compared to your
yeah.
Pokemon product.
Because you subject to the market and you subject to again, you know, you holding the card under the office that it will appreciate due to its rarity or scarcity in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is somewhat, it has the semblance of that of what the market, kind of feels like, but it's not the same. And that's because again, it's subjective to the overall market itself in terms of its value or worth. Because if the market crashes, equity value obviously goes down, but that those fringe investments like that, it depends on what they are, how they are, they will take a bigger tumble, right? They're going it's like the old saying, when if the market catches a cold, well, now but the market catches the flu, right? Because no one will have discretionary spend to spend that kind of money on those kind of items anyway.
Absolutely.
So you would be in a wait, and you'll be in a hodl cycle.
Yeah.
And if you got a lot of income invested into that particular asset value, or what we call working capital tied up in that, waiting for that asset to appreciate, well, that means you're missing out on, potential other markets that are still liquid. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's where it becomes like you can't really make that comparative analysis, because unless you just got a lot of discretionary capital laying around, a cash market where you can still go out and make other investments. But if the bulk of your investment is in that, not saying that would be that brother's case, but that's how you will, logic your way through that, or rationale yourself through that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be interesting to be all in on that. But I'm sure, like I say, not knowing that brother, like, again, you say he's a sneaker dealer as well, so I'm pretty sure at least he got two assets under his management, in terms of sneakers and his cards.
Right.
I would hope he got some equity investment somewhere in the fold too. I would hope so. If
Mm-hmm.
he's listening to you, he would.
Yeah,
Of course,
exactly.
right? If he watching other people who kind of teach those things, or at least speak on them, he would not just be because that would be on the cycle of those. It reminds me of what heck, even Peter Schiff owned equity stocks too,
Right.
right?
Right.
He may be the biggest gold bug on the planet, but yeah, he owned equity stocks too, right? He owned different markets as well, or beyond just he's not. He may be all in on the theory of gold, but he's not, 100% all in on that one particular asset, right?
Exactly.
Within
Exactly.
his portfolio. Yeah.
Peace, power, and profit. We going fishing?
There we go. Hey, I wish coming back from the hairdresser, and like I saw over Chris's video, and I was like, man, I want to speak to that. I got some time on the road on the way back. Like I got a little, I be going to northern Baltimore, Bel Air area to get my hair done up there. One of my, family friends, stylists, and so yeah, I was like, man, I'm stuck on this road. I'm in rush hour traffic here in the DC, Virginia, Maryland area, so it's rough. So I'm gonna be stuck anyway. I might well get a chance to go in and speak to the family. So how you doing? How you been, Miss Lamb? Dr. Lamb, guys. Dr. Lamb in the building.
Listen, we learned a lot in all different areas.
Grass still grinding. I know you still
Learning how
getting
to
it
piece
in.
that thing, yeah, learning how to piece this thing together. Like Chris was saying earlier, we all started the environmental thing in reference
Mm,
to how it affect the health. Kind of, I think it kind of goes went over our head a little bit, just as everyday
mm.
thinking. But once you dig into it, you like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, just you talking about the ESG aspect of it, or just the environmental
all,
aspect overall?
all of it from
All of it.
industrial,
Yeah. Okay.
uh,
Yep.
from from industrial to
Yep.
noise, noise
Yep.
pollution, which drives the
Mm-hmm.
air pollution to
Yep.
emissions to chemical and we had
Mm-hmm.
gone to a National Association of Black Geoscientists, and they were talking about
Mm-hmm.
car- carbon sequestration, carbon storage of waste. And I was telling Kristen how where they trying to figure
Yep.
out where they're gonna store this carbon. That's like high priority right now. And then
Yep.
what's the nuclear, nuclear waste has always been an
Nuclear.
issue. But I was telling
Hmm.
Krista how I ran across one of the guys from Canada was talking to me about wind and solar panels and coming up with a grant to
Mm.
teach the youth on how to get into that area. And I was looking it up. I was like, I wonder if solar panel has some type of contamination of waste. And they said, yep, 20 years, the shelf
Yeah,
life for 20 years, it produces waste. Yeah, so things we
yeah,
don't even are good for you right now, gonna be a problem for your kids later on.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the cycle continues. And knock on wood, I literally was talking to my hairstylist about some of those things, just in terms of environments and demographics and how a lot of these
Yes.
agencies or these lobbyists, if you will, who, kind of get into the ear and the noise uh, of these politicians to kind of give them those breaks, uh, or protections, I should call these immunity deals, like obviously pharmaceutical. But you take companies like DuPont, because she's up there near, near Delaware area, and this Delaware is a DuPont plant in Delaware. Because I just live somewhat in that area. They history of dumping chemicals right into the Delaware River, right?
Yep,
Which
right into
obviously
yep,
feeds. Yep. And it's, I mean, y'all, there's a big issue with that was happening down in Louisiana with some of those chemical plants.
yep. Cancer
I
Alley.
mean, yep. And so Flint,
The
and we were talking about Flint and the whole
lawsuit.
issue. Exactly, exactly. Flint, Michigan. I mean, it still got dirty water in Flint, Michigan in 2025. Make it make sense. Lead poisoning still happening in a lot of those schools up there that they refuse to go in there and refurbish and and make them safe. Those kids are learning in those environments in 2025.
Yep.
And so all this
Lead and
clean energy
paint.
money, yep, they got all this money that they were supposed to be earmarked for that stuff, but guess where it's going? Well, it turns out it was going out the back
Yes.
door. It was going to people's pockets and out the back
Exactly.
door. So it's
What about we were talking about last night how you already have food deserts, and
yep,
if the heats are burning up the crops, you already don't have no food in places where they don't have transportation. No
yeah,
grocery stores within a mile or so. Man,
yeah,
talking about a disaster, and we,
yeah, processed
so,
foods, yeah,
yeah, the hazards and the disasters we thinking is we're looking at. I'm gonna tell you, our county council persons and the fight they got over in the Lower Richland and the housing development, all that. They said, I thought you guys wanted economic development. They're changing agriculture to highly industrial and all that stuff. And
yeah,
look, you kind of slaps you in the face, right? You like, yeah, we already got people here. They could just pay us. If they just pay us properly, you won't need to do all of this. But
yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
slap in yeah,
Yeah.
it's a slap in the face when they come. Did you see Jermaine went viral?
Jermaine,
Dr.
Jermaine, not
Johnson?
Daniel.
Yeah,
I might have missed it.
you missed.
Did
Oh,
this happen?
it's viral. He viral all over the place because he went off on, you represent him now, so he went off on South Carolina in
Yeah.
the chambers.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah.
I'm saying great because again, there's a lot of fake up happening right now, and we all know it, and we know why. Again, it kind of ties into the topic what I'm discussing off the back of Chris video. Right? There's markets, then there's markets, right? There's government, then there's government, right?
Yep.
You got the lower tier, then you got the upper echelon, right? They all work in unison in some form of fashion, but there's, you know, the right hand not always telling what the left hand, what's going on. So, people who have good intentions, even on the civil side, they run into a lot of roadblocks once they get in and figure out how the system works. And so sometimes you come in with pure intentions to change and, do what your civic duty is supposed to be about, at least be fiduciary responsible for your own conscience. And then you run into gatekeepers. And they end up going viral. I'm pretty sure I don't know the story, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with that. He probably was dealing with some gatekeepers,
Oh
and
yeah.
they were slowing the potential progress.
Yep.
And that's how it
Yep.
always goes. It's the playbook is so obvious now. You don't even have to think about it. You're like, oh, I'm sure there's some gatekeepers in the way,
Oh
basically.
yeah. He said he said I I told
Yeah,
y'all told me, Jermaine, we were not gonna we're not gonna do that. We're gonna have your back. And he said, "You just showed me who
Yeah.
you are. You get mad when we
Mhm.
call you racist. You get mad when we bring up the races, but you just funded white supremacy programs and shot down 700,000 at Charleston Southern. You shot down this, that. It was crazy. But you know what?
Mm.
It's the speaking of gatekeepers, I'm supposed to be getting some funding, and I got one right now. I ain't on the slide, but I'm so good what I do, and rub elbows with the top senators that it can't stop it. But boy, he giving me some hard pushback, and I was like, how you gonna give me pushback? And I'm in your
You,
district. What?
you know how I go.
I
Again,
know.
we've been down this road before, and even this idea with again, the rise and fall of Jamie. You know, look how we had high hopes for that brother. Again, there ain't no swipe against him, but him
Yeah.
finding himself at a time when the party was just completely, they had a whole new different agenda than probably what he probably thought about when he got into it. And it's like it's the checks and balances of the status quo. You have to kind of get in and go along, or they will excommunicate you, you know, or it,
Quickly.
it would change, they would change your whole thesis of narrative, what you may come in with good intentions. You'll find that very quickly, you have to fold, or, you have no use, and it's just interesting because my opinion to that in terms of the civic thing, it tarnishes you by way of their toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Guilty by association. You may be different, but you get caught in the fray, you either gonna align yourself or, you know, you have a short shelf life, if you
Mm.
will. And that's just the game. Politics is dirty now. This is not the civic of, our parents' generation, if you will. It's a byproduct of bad checks and balances, possibly. But I will say again, you know, again, there's markets. There's the market, then there's markets. Going back to that, because that's a whole market in itself. We figured out what that looked like with all this Doge stuff, right? They were just building. They were just Lego block building all kind of satellite agencies. Have you
Did
ever
you say
seen some of the
Lego
stuff?
box?
That's what it was.
Lego
Lego block
box.
agencies. They were just, satellite office of this. This is off the State Department. This is off this department. And well, all this stuff. Well, we didn't know about this stuff. Where all this money, where all this money going? Uh, it's been interesting, to say the least.
Well,
So
this money in the government has been spent like this for years. I just
yeah,
find it fun. I always just find it funny that it becomes a highlight for people when they need to hide something else.
yeah, it's convenient. It's always it's a it's a convenient, you know, uh scenario, and that's where again, it's. And I'm saying that on both sides too. Of course, this is me having a
Oh
neutral
yeah, both
perspective because
sides.
again, I'm independent to that regard where I look at things and I look at when you look at the market because we're raised, or I should say, we've been inducted into the market thesis, right? No matter who's in power, the market's going to do its thing.
Yeah.
It is the mechanism that really gives your economy, any kind of credibility, right? As the saying goes, we are the cleanest, dirty shirt in the laundry basket, in terms on the global scale, right? Uh, we have in-house fighting and bickering, but no one would dare leave our markets just to go flood the Hang Seng, right? Or the, the TSX, or, a China market, right? There, we can, we have our civil wars, but our market is still the most lucrative market on the planet. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? It's that kind of narrative. So where we may have personal, issues that we want to see come to light in terms of our local districts, our state politics, up into the more federal side of things, we know at the end of the day, asset ownership blinds you from all that bickering that you see what's happening right now. So you have to find out a way or figure out a way to get invested. Without that,
Yes.
you are subject to policy. You don't want to be
It's
subject to policy. Let me repeat that again.
say
You
that
don't want to
again.
posit your life or position your life to be subject to policy because they've been pencil whipping people, they've been paper whipping people for the longest, even going back when they broke treaties. So it ain't nothing new when you're dealing with that kind of scenario. So it is very interesting now watching how these markets are they're going through their volatility right now. Essentially, they are going through volatility moments, and it takes people who are who's patient and disciplined to be able to weather these storms. Right, it's nothing new. Again, just think about it. Y'all remember back in 2018, 2019, we were literally having limit down days in the market. So
Mm-hmm.
let me refresh to people, that may be new. When we say a limit down day in the stock market, I know y'all probably still remember because it's just been a while since we had one. But a limit down day in the market means they literally they have to stop the market at some point to
Yep.
figure out, to stop the bleeding.
Yep. Pause.
We were having them, the markets in 2018, 2019. And it was just, I mean, if you was an option trader during those times when the market was just trading down, you talking about, look, that's 2-3 year worth of salary in a day. Because the market just was just done,
Facts.
And it's like, okay, I ain't got to work for the next 2-3 years. I see y'all goodbye. I'm going fishing. You could make this stuff up, right? And then they began to kind of, solidify the Fed foot, and that's why that really came about. It's been around, but it became more, it became more of a staple, talking point. The Fed's in there, the pump protection team, right? Again, that's that whole idea where we're going to protect this house, right? That the Under Armour commercial, will you protect this house, right? Because people pensions and all that stuff and whatever, right? So it kind of feels like that to some people who may be new to markets now because they're getting in at somewhat the cycle peak, and it's down really on a few percentage points. It just feels like it's more bigger than what it is, right? But it really isn't, right? The high is what, 610, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Give it that, and we're sitting at around about 570, 570, 565, 5. It's not much. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, it just feels like it if you bought the top. Right?
Right.
It's the economy is trash. The administration is trash. Republicans are trash. Democrats are trash. It's everybody else. Is trash. It's just no. That's the market. Right? There's markets, then there's markets, right?
Yep.
And learning how to maneuver in those cycles is tantamount to you having good discipline and good due diligence. That's why it's always important to realize the importance of realigning your portfolio uh, when you realize what a particular agenda maybe is being implemented. We went through that with COVID, guys. Y'all remember that was like it was easy for us. It was so easy for us to say, okay, COVID hit. What's going to be the staple, asset of choice that's going to get a lot of attention? Healthcare. What particular subsector healthcare? Right? Biopharma or biotechnology, right?
Yep.
I.e., income companies like Moderna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those types, right? And so all those stocks went through the moon. Or any company that had any kind of play within that sector, they got tailwind. Not all of them, but the ones who were founded, they caught wind because the contracts were hitting their what? Hitting their bottom line. They didn't get no government contracts.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just again, it's always one of those things where you got to be conscious about the landscape in which you're maneuvering in, and so it's nothing new to us. That's why I would say it doesn't matter who's the president. It doesn't matter what part is in power. It's all about how we adjust when necessary. It's the idea of the audible, right? It's the Peyton Manning theory. That's old school for. We know about that Peyton Manning theory, right?
Right.
What was it? Omaha. What was this? Audible. Omaha. Peyton Manning audible on you, and he gonna do it. He hit you for a 7 down the sideline.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. What's going on over Brandon? Ilva Keon, I see y'all that came in the room. Peace, time, profit to you lovely people. We have an old prop to bill here. I'm on the way home. How you
Peace,
guys
peace,
doing
family.
this evening?
What's up,
I'm
Brandon?
all right, man. How you doing? How you doing? What's up, everybody?
Now Brandon knows Unbreakable Kicks. Chicago native.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, you
Chris.
know the brother as well? Yeah.
Yeah, Chris. That was BS, bro. Talk about Pokemon cards more valuable than fucking. That shit was stupid. I'm like, wow.
I was like, bro,
I'm
what?
sure it was, yeah, it was one of those, it was an opinionated, and highly opinionated, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I'm like,
Oh,
okay, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh, let me, Sister Monica back there. I wonder what that was back there. Sister Monica, she in there handling business. I'm gonna mute her so a second while she handling business. Yeah, man, that was interesting. When I saw that, I said, "Now I got to speak to this." I got a little time on the way home. What's up,
right.
Tia? But Kiana, I see you in the building too. Peace, time, profit to you, sis.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Doing
How are
well.
you,
How about
Susan?
yourself?
Doing
Yeah,
good. Just saw y'all posted something, so I said, look it on here.
Okay.
yeah,
What
yeah.
up,
I've
though?
been like, getting things together here again on my side too. Now, again, I saw that video. I had time, so I'm on the road because a lot of things been going around. I've been moving like 100 miles an hour. But yeah, I was just leaving northern Baltimore area. I had to go see my stylist. It was about that time to get it. I actually got my hair cut today too, because y'all know I had it way down back, so I didn't got it cut and everything. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, it's about to get hot. You gotta take some of that weight off. But
Yeah.
Real talk.
I'm selling hair now. I don't do I trade the market, but I'm selling hair. I got a whole anybody want to buy some hair? I got that here. I got that women.
Over Wilson Field.
I got that women number 9 for him. Yeah, well, haircut day, and she got, my style is so awesome, man. She kind of hit me up and get me right. So yeah, I'm on the way in. So I think I saw the video. I said I gotta come on. I got been wanting to speak with the family, get some time in anyway, personal time with you guys, and it's just an honor to be here with you all and humbled by it and speaking about what we know best, and it's the markets, right?
right.
Uh, so I don't know who all y'all. I know you probably seen the video over Chris. By the chance, even Kiana, did you see the video that over Chris posted?
No, I didn't get to see it, but I see it
Yes,
now.
sir.
The talking about the why blacks are poorer than whites in America video.
No.
Oh,
It's just
the other one. On the investment, the gentleman made a statement that Pokemon cards are more lucrative than investing in stocks or crypto.
oh wow. Okay. No, I didn't
Yeah,
see it, but I'll make sure I watch it.
yeah, no worries. I was just speaking to. I was like, man, that's a good topic to speak on in terms of understanding markets, right? Because we've already canvassed a lot of these things a lot of time, back in the day, and we know it to be what it is anyway. That's why we always preach diversity for a reason, right? There's markets, there's the market, then there's markets, right?
Yep.
It's the envelope, and then there's letters, right? The envelope houses everything. That's the ideal of an ETF, right, or ETN, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the collection of. It's basically it's an arbitrage mechanism, right? That's what an ETF is. While one stock is doing poorly, another one's doing good. It balances out that lagger. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just understanding that. That's why, again, when it comes to investing, being prudent to understand the power of diversity is again tantamount to you survival. You got to diversify. It's only a small select people who've ever been in one product and one product only, and it had to been a certain product too. Even that comes with some level of due diligence. Like, meaning you bought gold, and you just held gold all through Bretton Woods in the '70s and all of it to today. Of course, that's a good investment, right? Um, because it was a monetary, investment. It was based on old money. Now just got a facelift on the fiat, but that value in gold was already there. You know what I'm saying? And it
Right.
has use case. The gold is in everything dang near, computer chips and everything, right? Beyond the novelty aspect of it as well, it has a great use case. So yeah, so when people, when someone make a statement like, Pokemon cards more, lucrative than, a founded company, a S&P or a blue chip, a Dow component, even a tech, that would be a big bold statement,
Why
you
would
know.
somebody even say something like that? Because isn't like
Yeah.
value in a product is only perceived value, right? Like it doesn't have anything backing it. So why would they even say that?
That's and then again, it's not beating up on the gentleman. For Chris and over Christmas, I think Brad, he said y'all know the gentleman. And it just when people get a good start getting into other investments, and it may have great margin value, but again, it's only subjected to the market itself, the overall market. Case in point, y'all remember the ICO market, or
Mm-hmm.
even worse, I would say even worse, the NFT market. Look what happened to that.
Right,
Dismantle.
Y'all
right.
remember they were buying digital real estate, $100,000, $200,000 of digital real estate, and all that stuff literally crashed. It was people buying Snoop Dogg NFT digital as I mean, they're spending hundreds of thousands, six figures on those NFTs. And again, where's that market today?
Mm. Nowhere to be
There's
found.
only a select few that was able to survive, but the rest of that stuff was just that's when you was at peak what? Peak euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tulip market. It has value based upon the perception of the potential investors. If they have all this, excess capital laying around where they made them a new market. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that's far as it goes. Yeah, it just that baffled me. So I was like, oh, okay. Again, it's not beating up on anybody or trying to call no one out. It's us having what they call it. Let's round table discussion why the importance of due diligence and discipline is again tantamount to your survival in investing in markets. Period. No matter what market you're in, real estate, novelty, collector items, whatever, right? Equity assets, commodities, you have to understand it, the business, right? The game in itself. And that way you never make any kind of fool's gold investment. Not to say that's a fool's gold environment or investment, but it ain't nothing you want to bet the house on. You know what I'm saying? Unless, there are people who are lucky, then there are people who are strategic, right? And that's the difference of being diversified. When you diversify, of course, you are very strategic. You're arbitraging the ideal of potential losses in a market that has potential to crash. Not only crash, but crash big, right? Meaning you may go through a drought for like, you know, more than 3 to 5 years. If that, in a market, if the bigger market goes down, that market gonna suffer worse on the back end. So that's why again, or just interesting. It's more of you know, a teaching moment more so than it being, just down in the market because that particular person again, that market still has value to a select, uh vendor class, right? But it's not like you waking up today going into the market and buying S&P 500, which you had, at your disposal with a fingerprint of pressure on a screen. You done bought you some shares of a company. You just, move on about your day, right? You're not having to shop for buyers. There's a market
Mm-hmm.
for that, of course, but it's not the same. Yeah, clearly it's not the same,
Right.
right? So yeah, so yeah, you want to speak to a little bit over Chris out again. I know you did the video on it, and it was just interesting. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just really comes down to that. Like he don't really understand uh the the alpha, the omega, which is the stock market. And anytime you try to price or compare, collectibles to an actual company that's been around for decades or
mm-hmm.
hell, even centuries in some case, it, that's not really a good argument. And I was just really
Right.
explaining because a lot of there's it's not just him. There's just people on the internet, Pokemon, collectors on the internet that really try to compare, the S&P 500 against this booster box that they have that
Oh, really?
supposedly
So
has a lot.
there are other people that do that y'all seen that
Yeah,
doing that?
yeah, yeah. So, because
Mm,
I did,
okay,
some Google searches and, I
it
read
would
on,
make sense. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like some Reddit forums and whatnot,
Mm,
and, YouTube videos, people actually believe this. And I'm just like,
no doubt.
well, you can't compare, this to an index that measures 500 plus companies because and they really was like hating on the like, okay, it only turned like 13% in 1 year. But I'm like, what you don't understand is there are 500 companies. That doesn't mean all 500 companies are performing well. It could
Right.
literally be 7 stocks, like the Magnificent Seven, that's literally
Mhm.
carrying the S&P 500, and the,
Yeah.
the rest of them are trash that year. So
Right.
So this is that was the bigger argument. His really was really it's just ignorance, and I just happened to catch it on
Mhm.
live when I made the comment and he was like false. I'm just like, well, I understand you don't know where I'm coming from with this,
Right.
but
Right.
it's really more centered around other people that actually believe this, and they so-called doing their research by comparing an index against their collectible. And I'm like, well, first of all,
Mhm.
that's not even a fair comparison in the first place.
Right. He's talking his book, essentially. That's all he was, just talking his book.
Yeah, right,
If he was his potential client on the, in the audience, this is why I want to buy that car from you and get ready to sell it.
right,
Again,
exactly.
no foul. That's what he's doing. But yeah, he's talking his book.
But yeah, so I'm just like, they just don't understand how
Yeah.
the index itself works. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
when you don't have an idea about that, you can, miss that step and then actually believe that your Pokemon collectible, can outproduce, the market itself. And
Right.
I was really on the perspective like, okay, listen, Apple, Amazon, they outperformed the S&P 500, but guess what? So you still have to understand that an index doesn't have all winners. There are losers in the index too that
Yeah.
can shift the percentage. Just imagine if all 500 plus companies perform well. You actually think that your Pokemon product will outperform it?
Mm.
I'm just like, and you're forgetting the capital appreciation and the dividends that come with this as well too. That's if I buy 100 shares, there's no fucking excuse my
Yeah.
language. No way that there's no way that your collectible is outperforming that unless
Well,
some
on the
idiot.
individual company basis anyway, for him to make a comment. I mean, because you would have to be basing it up against a rolling scale or comparative analysis of uh, a lot of different, uh, compares. Like, okay, if it's a certain Pokemon card that does well or done well,
Right,
okay, if you base it up against, look at it from this space, you find the highest sold Pokemon card and you base it up against the uh, most profitable company that, had the greatest, interest increase, uh, you know, under this particular duration, you make that comparative analysis.
right,
Now, the thing with Pokemon card, once you buy it, it's bought, right? There's no rolling interest on it based upon applicable growth beyond the card being already produced. It's already in its final state.
right. No
The market
dollar
then
cost
sets the
averaging or
market.
any of that.
Exactly. The market sets its rate at that point going forward. So
Right.
what I'm getting at, there's no CAGR. There's no compound annuity growth rate with that any longer
Yep.
from potential growth. It's just sedentary growth at that point, based
Right.
upon the market or discretionary growth. With dollar
Exactly.
cost averaging, that's you're building your building. As it
Hmm.
grows, you're growing with it and compounding your principal at a higher and higher rate.
Exactly.
Any interest accrued to that in itself is icing on the cake. Again, Netflix is worth what? Is up what now 15,000% now? Probably more than that, like near 20,000%. And someone did that math on that. How much is Netflix worth now in its whole value? Right? I think it's up near 20,000%, somewhere around there, some crazy number.
Hmm.
If someone checked that. Well, again, what's the highest, margin rate on a Pokemon card? The highest selling one. You may find that rare earth one that might have been, sold well into the six-figure digits, maybe even seven. But those are anomalies, right?
Hmm.
It really is an anomaly perspective based upon number one, i.e., someone having the money to spend on such a collector's items. It has to be another it has to be a robust market where you would have people who got that kind of stationary liquid capital laying around to even want to invest in something like that. Again, going back to the NFT thing, right? They would buy Snoop Dogg Avenue in LA on the digital side in NFT for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Make it make
Yeah.
sense. I'm just saying who offload where did they offload that at? I need to go do a source and to see where the people still hold on to the NFT, right? Because there's a digital blockchain, like number attached to that purchase somewhere. And if it's still out there, that means that person's still sitting on it,
Right.
right? So yeah, again, it's one of those things, guys. It's just I know we're preaching to the choir for you guys who are watching, but it's interesting to have this conversation. Why? Because given the new, current administration, given the new market what we're dealing with now, coming post COVID, post, crazy inflation, coming from all that now, it's like, okay, nothing that we're not, new to. It's just learning how to realign your portfolio, how to realign your investments.
Right.
It's just moving puzzle pieces around. That's all it is. That's what investing is. It's understanding that there's opportunities more than just one lane, essentially. So
Yep.
yeah, that was again, it was just an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Sitting listening to,
Yeah.
again,
Absolutely.
it's not to beat up on the brother, nothing like that. It's not even that. It's just this is a good teaching moment, or not even from a place where it's a disrespectful way of saying it. No slight. It's just that it's good for people to understand that when it feels like you're going through investment pain because you might have watched your portfolio go up 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 plus percent, and it has now reduced back, you know, 20, 30, 40, 15%, whatever. That doesn't mean that, that the game is over. You see what I'm saying? The game
Mhm.
doesn't, it's not over when those things happen. Uh, that means you're getting the chance now when you were seeding before. Again, based upon all the mentions, we know that the rate of company in terms of its worth, its growth potential, whether you can get a chance to buy in cheaper again now. Right? You get a chance to get some discount principal investment in because you're thinking long term. Right? It's the
Right.
it's the Warren Buffett thesis. You should not think about owning a stock for 10 seconds if you don't plan on owning it for 10 years. Well, we know
Facts.
that there's a nuance way to look at that now, right? Because we know industry is changing over in between 5 to 7 years now. So
Hmm.
sometimes you don't even get the big 10 years. That company will, shoot up in 5 to 7 and then shut. You are forced to take some money off the table, right? Pay yourself, right?
Yep.
Nobody went broke taking profit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So again, again, you're a licensed professional now, over Chris. You're more rated and more, you know, competent and capable even to have this discussion now. And in terms of that, you're literally educating people on this stuff now. Right? That's
Hmm.
what license and champion certification give you. And
Right.
I know you use it as a teaching moment because you address it as such. It's a teaching moment.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
yeah.
speak to that, man. Speak to that aspect of it, even from a licensed, analyst, financial analyst's perspective. That's important that people realize those things.
Right. Also, man, I don't even think I went. I didn't even have to, throw the licenses credential out there because I mean, you
Right.
taught us,
That's basic.
the
That's
basics. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? All of this stuff. So, and
yeah,
with all the discords and back chats that we've been a part of, and
yep,
you know all these people making money, we start doing different trading strategies. It's insane even from that perspective to
yeah,
actually think like, my brother, you have no idea how big this market is and how much
yeah.
money is being made on a daily basis.
It's,
So
it's enough to make you pull your hair out once you find out what's been going on while you was, on the 9 to 5, you
yeah.
know, trying to come up, the Chinese water, drip torture technique on you, one drip at a time. Here it is. They got the whole spigot wide open over here, just, loading up their pockets. Every pocket they can fit money in. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm over here trying to get these 40 hours. This joker done did a 1 hour and he done for the rest of the month.
Right. I'm
It's
just
like,
like,
okay.
man, my mentor, he's a money making machine. So I'm just like, there's no way that I would, surmise that your Pokemon investment is anything. We ain't even talk about crypto. We ain't even talk about
Yeah,
Bitcoin itself. I'm just
yeah.
like, bro, that's
Again,
insane. It's,
how old is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, what, 13 years old now?
yeah,
Somewhere around there, give or take 13, 15 years old.
yeah,
And we talking about from literally from what we consider to be, penny stock to
it,
now
it,
worth dang near $100,000. And
exactly.
the commentary behind that at a time when we were really professing, even through the Urban Economic Empowerment Show with you guys, and back in 2017, we talk about
Hmm.
Litecoin was sitting at what, maybe I want to say what, 30 or 40, $50 a token.
Hmm.
Ether was sitting at maybe a little over 100 plus, near a couple hundred, and
Yep,
Bitcoin was sitting at around 1,700, $1,900 a token.
yep,
It based in that perspective, then it just from that point it went through the moon.
exactly.
It went up, it made that big run to 20,000. It pulled
Hmm.
back. It went through its distribution consolidation phase, and we called the bottom, the second bottom. We called it around 31, 31, $3,300. We still got the receipts. We called it that second bottom, and then from there it went on up in the 30, 40, 50 range, and it's doing this thing now. It's foundated now because now it's a self-fulfilling investment. Why? Because you have what? Firms getting invested now. You have the Black Rocks,
Yes,
right? You got the JP
yes,
Morgans. You got all these big money, players coming into the fold. And one of the biggest, money minds out there, Larry Fink, right? The
hmm,
real, harbinger of you know, of economic death in himself, for lack of a better word. You got him all, getting excited about it.
right.
And that's interesting. That's where you even talk about the Peter Thiels and the Noah Grants and all those guys, um, and the Slayers and all those guys. But hey, you know, it's a market that now has legs, if you will.
Friend,
And so
yeah, running like Usain Bolt.
yeah, facts, breaking records,
Yeah,
right? There's been no other investment out there, to date that can rival that of its exponential growth. Even at a point when people thought they missed the train when it broke out above 20 grand the second time and went above 30, all that stuff. People like, man, that investment over. Ain't no more, legs on that. I already missed that boat. Why should I get invested?
right.
Okay, another 300% later, it's up in the 80, 90,000 range. It's like, y'all got any more of them, any more of them tokens? You got the Dave Chappelle crackhead scratch. Y'all got any more of them tokens over there? Y'all, what y'all, right? A crack
And
sandwich.
like,
You got a crack sandwich.
and
Yeah,
people get discouraged by that number, like as far as like crypto, yeah, it's 100,000, but just think if you own a tenth of it and it hits like 1 million.
mm,
That's what they're not realizing. A
yeah,
That's the
tenth of
taker.
of, of a million.
That's the taker. Because you doing this on a rolling scale. You just find that excess income, find that loose change. Like Sister Monica done taught everybody how to find them, that extra money to invest with. And you
yeah.
$5 here, you $10 here, you $7 here. Cause you could buy $1 worth dang near in some platforms. It's like, how you gonna beat that? Again, we talking about loose change. We talking about going into your old penny jar, your penny shoebox where you just stored all your old coins that one day you're gonna cash in. You saying this is a great time to cash that in and put it in an interest accruing investment, vehicle.
Right.
That now has the backing of literally, again, if you want to really call them what they are, the World Bank,
Yep.
right? These are World Bank firms at this point, a BlackRock and those types. So you're not going to compete against those guys being, if you will, skeptical, if you will, in terms that you don't have to, of course, that's a choice to invest. So it's not a written rule that you have to, invest. Now you can bet against them, like a lot of Tesla short sellers, and we know what that look like. A lot of
Hmm.
bloody nose, broken bones, That's a stock where you got to know how to short it. If not, you're gonna get ran over.
Right.
you know, we seeing it now, right? You got the Democrats actively shorting Tesla stock because they don't like the CEO.
Right.
Well, guess what? The stock went down to 220, 230, which we saw that it was going to bottom there. It was always on the chart that was a distribution, the consolidation shelf. 220, 230. It went down there. It did what? It got bought up. Now it's up here near $300 and short on the time frame. Make it make sense.
Mhm.
And they were actively shorting against it because they mad at the CEO. They invest. They're shorting off of emotion and not logic, right? That's how you go broke, right?
Well, I mean,
But
sometimes
again,
over too, that does play in your favor too. Because what was it? GameStop. A lot of people was in GameStop off of the hype of, what was that? Discord.
AMC, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All again, the mean coin mania was based upon novelty value investing. The potential of a company to have ability to reinvent itself, come back into the market, gain equitable market share up against its peers or that of whatever out there, and compete. But how when you didn't kind of put yourself in a position where the use case of that model, business model, is not as fluent as it used to be, right? Because now you got
Mhm.
what? You got Netflix and chill, right? You got Hulu, and Peacock, and people buying Samsung TVs that rival that of movie theater screens. You can do that at the house now for a fraction of the price. You burnt no gas, no time, no social, energy dealing with people. You can get all the drink you want, right? You can pass out, go to sleep right in your little movie chair at the house. They're making movie theater recliner chairs now. I mean, again, the movie theater still gonna have this market value, but again, that ship has sailed in terms of its potential moment to catch what they call a rocket ship to the stratosphere, at least based on its use case.
Right.
Case in point, me and Kiana, all right, so Kiana's in here. We caught it at a time when it was going through the potential aspect of a rebirth, right? Y'all remember AFC went down to like $3 and change, was down $1 and change, $2, and it went down to $3. They found the shelf there, and then it became a great, again, short-term investment thesis based upon potential of a turnaround, right? And they went from $3 up to the moon, you know.
Mhm.
So again, but it's also about being disciplined and understanding how structured investments work in terms of a use case or a cycle. When that cycle runs its course, you have to be disciplined enough to get out the way, right? Take your profit, move on. There's going to be other opportunities, but you don't, put everything in one basket and hoping it's not a strategy, and hope that it will pay you, pay out the way that it's worth it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Just like I say, just knowing that was the case, uh, you know, uh, you know, again, that's a bold statement. That's like saying, that's not even saying like making the comparison now of Kobe and LeBron up against Jordan. That's just you can't even. That's not even up to that level. That is a big,
Mhm.
a big leap of faith to say, those would, those investments beat out, equity stocks, if you will. And again,
Mhm.
it's no swiping at the brother.
Right.
Um, but that's, that wouldn't be what they call, that's not, conscious investing.
Exactly.
That's definitely ICO.
And that's okay. If that's all you know, it's okay.
That's just, everybody start somewhere. You're right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, my little students I taught the other day, Chris, they little coffee, Starbucks and their little cannabis real estate is up right now. So I can't wait to see them Monday so they can see they made a couple bucks in my paper trade account.
Oh, nice. You said cannabis real
Yeah.
estate?
Well, it's the hold on. Remember when I pulled it up, it was that it was can I'll tell you in a second. In innovative industrial properties. It was when we looked
Mm-hmm.
up, they was so African Emporium, they were interested in investing in weed stock and coffee.
Oh,
So when I
yeah.
put in,
Okay.
I was teaching them, to look for the dividends, and we're
Mm,
looking at, just a quick scenario of, left and up 45 degrees to the right to look to see if it's a
right.
good buy. And so the cannabis, when of course I use AI, give me some investing cannabis and
Mm,
dividend companies that are for long term investments because I was trying to get them to invest for more than 10 years. And
right.
that Innovative Industrial Properties, IIPR, which was one of the real estate investment trust, one of their properties, and it has
Mm-hmm.
6% dividend. So we select that one
Mm-hmm.
first in the paper trade, and then Starbucks was one of the number one, the coffee ones with the long term dividend, a good investment.
Okay, on the
And
equity side. Yep.
and Starbucks. And so I went into my Webull paper trade, taught them how to pick it out, put it in,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
market price, that kind of thing. And it was
Yeah.
funny because at first they was like, I said, how many shares you want? She was like
Yeah.
300. And then when I showed the price, she was like, wait a minute, it took all our
Well,
money.
hold up. So hold up, big swole up. Let's reassess that.
Push pause, push pause. And then it's
Hold
like,
up, big
okay,
swole up.
I think three may be more like it. So they
Yeah.
chose three each and it's in the green. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see them on Monday. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be super
Yeah.
excited. So we gave them
Yeah.
$600 for participating in the classes, and we tasked them
Yeah.
with with at least taking $100 to put in your first investment account. We gonna
There you
open them
go.
stash for them. So I can't wait to tell them.
That's gonna be awesome. Again, there's no better feeling
Mhm.
in terms of being able to share that, that knowledge and gift with the youth. Again, we've had these conversations so many times, throughout our myriad of shows and programs that we've done in terms of understanding how to, get that market ready. Because guess what? Those kids of the future, they are the new market. They are the market that's waiting to take over at some point, right? And their collective thinking power, or it can be only as valuable as the knowledge that they're getting today. That's the best way to put it. I mean, if you're putting them in the fertile ground now, imagine what the roots are going to do or look like 20 years from now, right? And we talk about a industry that pretty much pays them to learn it. you know, it's like when people go into the military. Of course, guess what? It's paying you to learn a skill set. Now you have to do your part, fulfill your aspect of the obligation of being there, but it's taking care of your housing, your medical, your food. It's giving you skill sets. It's giving you education benefits and incentives. So again, you look at it from a place where, okay, yeah, it's preparing you for future, endeavors, so to speak, right? And again, kids learning how to, how the market works and how to invest. That's how your society. It's a reflection of what your society will look like. Again, if those buds take sprout, right? And grow and germinate. So you need people like yourself and everybody that's on here to be able to speak truth to power when it comes to those things. Why? Because again, we've already dispelled the myth of that you need to have $100,000 to get started, right? Like, no, that's not how this stuff works. The market has been broken down to so many parts over the years. Now it's a micro strategy investment cycle. What I mean by that, meaning you can literally do, fraction of shares now. They didn't bust that pie down so many ways, right? Speaking to the street boys now, they done broke the pie down so many ways now where it's easy to get started. We're talking loose change, right? We're talking about emptying out your penny jar again. We're talking about stock roundups, stash, cash app, and all these, where you used to get what they call money back on your credit card. Well, guess what? What beats that? Stock
Right.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Because that money market is still capped at so much that company will give you back. If it's 3-5% on a credit card spend, well, guess what? Imagine if that went into an investment vehicle that has potential to keep accruing interest. Again, i.e. a stock, an Apple or Nvidia. So not only did you get the potential, the value of the 5% one block investment, but you go away and come back, it didn't grew an extra, 0.8%, 2%. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's tax on tax on tax. So it's a no brainer. And so if nothing changed, guys, y'all know this stuff. Again, I know I'm not preaching to the choir, but I get excited when I hear those things because that's the basis of what we're here for. We're not only to learn how to protect and grow wealth in our own perspective, but pay it forward, right? Get those kids excited about this stuff because the greatest feeling in the world is when a kid get excited about waking up want to see what Bloomberg is talking about, right? Or
Hmm.
what did the stock do today? I bought Tesla. I like the Cybertruck. What the stock doing today? Or I bought my new Game Boy got the new uh you know Nvidia processor chip in there, right? How good is the company doing today? It's that y'all. It's the basis. So no brainer.
Definitely no brainer.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I love it, man. Again, I just yeah, it's even going back to our conversations about where we were, 2, 3 years ago when we were kind of outlining what the market's going to look like. You know, post COVID, post high inflation, even post regimen change. Regardless of the fact who's in power, that should never affect your bottom line at the end of the day. It may alter it to a degree in terms of a moment in time, but does not affect your overall game plan in the long hauls, if you
Right.
will. If y'all know what I'm saying, of course, in that regard. Because at the end of the day, we know that who eats it's old school. I'm gonna go old school, y'all. Especially them old school Southern families. Who eat first at the dinner table in a Southern family household?
Daddy.
Dad. He always get the
Always
big piece of
that.
what? Big piece of
Big
Sit.
chicken.
piece of chicken.
Don't don't even dare even look at that big piece of chicken. Your mouth will be salivating. If you even look at it too long, you might get hit in the mouth. Oh, that's your daddy. What you doing? You ain't got no business eyeing that your daddy piece of chicken like that. Right?
Yeah.
That's investment mentality in the same perspective. You know that block of investing that you're doing today, it's gonna, you're gonna eat regardless at the end of the day. If
Hmm.
you have the diversification and a way to foolproof yourself to a degree away from, you know, political volatility. That's the best way to put it. That's all this is. This is political volatility. That's all it
Hmm.
is. It goes back what we said in the very beginning of this live over Christmas. I was saying this is just a refurbished playbook.
Hmm.
We've already seen this character before in terms of Trump. We know his get down. He just in his mind he repulsed his game plan, and he's coming back at it from a different perspective now, right? Because he only got one shot. It's do or die, and for whatever it is, the country gave him a mandate, meaning they voted for him under their own mandates, right? For what it was they wanted him to get done.
Right.
So in a mandate perspective like this, you say to yourself, okay, beyond my own personal beliefs and ideology scenarios, how am I going to benefit from this one way or the other? Number one, I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I know that the market really at the end only cares about who feeds it. Meaning who's gonna get, the market is always gonna get the big piece of chicken at the end of the day. Think about that.
Facts.
During COVID, who got the big piece of chicken? It definitely wasn't that stimmy check.
Nope. Wall
Wall
Street.
Street got trillions and trillions of dollars compared to your little drumstick or your little wingette.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even a comparison. Again, going back to there's markets, there's the market, then there's what? Markets, right? The market, non-negotiable, right? You can't compete against that in no form of fashion unless you're heir of some late estate, right? And you just walked into it and found that you had, that uncle or some parent that had, hundreds and hundreds of acres or whatever. Outside of that, you're not going to be able to walk into wealth in any form of fashion unless you have, again, interest accruing assets. The game has already been revealed at this point. It's no longer hidden in plain sight. If you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Um, again, and your market, in terms of your novelty market, is only as good as the robustness of your overall, you know, equitable market, right? Again, your S&P 500, your blue chips, your Dow components, all these other little companies, they have to perform well to even produce a novelty market,
Mhm.
right? Nobody's gonna miss a meal trying to go out and buy a Pokemon card and they starving. you know, again, no fight with the brother. Again, I'm just using it as a use case. This is a case study scenario. More in a better way of saying it, this is a case study. You're not gonna go out and buy beans like Jack of the Beanstalk when you know you need to put some chicken and eggs on the table. You got enough
Mhm.
money to right. That's a gamble. It's a gamble. Sometimes it pays off, but that's not a sound investment. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not disciplinary to do that. Like baby
Right.
at home now waiting on the baby formula to come back from the grocery store. You just stopped off a little Tyrone and hit you with a 3 card monthly game, and you done went all in and lost, and you got to come back on and explain why the baby ain't gonna get no baby formula tonight.
Thanks.
Now you trying to force her to breastfeed all of a sudden now. Like, bruh, I told you to go stop and get that case of infant. What you mean I got to breastfeed? What you did with the money? Oh boy.
Hmm.
So again, being disciplined, man, it's like fine wine. Again, you got to give yourself enough time to understand, and they're not even really called sacrifices. An investment is not necessarily a sacrifice if you think about it. You're putting principal down into a you know into an asset that has again a track record of producing. Number one, if you've already done enough proper due diligence. Number two, even depends on where you may come in that cycle of investing. It still gives you enough what they call backdated, back testing information to let you know whether or not you need to be a little bit more patient because it's starting to have this so-called cycle or downturn. Where if you
Right.
patient enough, you can sit a little bit more patient and you can kind of catch it on this distribution shelves and consolidation shelves on its way down through dollar cost averaging properly, right?
Hmm.
Understanding what it means for an asset to be in correction territory. I mean, it hit this 20% down peak in a single stock perspective.
Right.
Again, you say, okay, well, yeah, that's the I can nibble here, right? So you're always in a position where over time the market will fix itself, even though we are in a Keynesian market, environment still under this, new Fed put in this fiat pumping through infinite quantitative easing. By all intents and purposes, this is a Keynesian market. This is
Right.
not the market I would rather be in, but it's the market we got for now, right? Until something changes. And the only
Agreed.
way this goes back to an Austrian marketplace is if we get enough productivity coming out of mainstream to battle that of what? Global, import export. You have to have predictive society to make that equitable value where you have the level of what they call founded GDP, not based on government alone, but on everybody eating. That's how you have that surplus, right? It's a fair market at that point because guess who's going to really decide that market? It's the people, right? It's not an investment firm, right? It's not government hiring, to decide how you eat or not when they already lining their pockets, criminally anyway.
Right.
Which we're finding out, right? Which we already knew, but it's just being magnified now. So it's been happening. It's nothing new. It's just that we get a chance to spotlight it now. Um, so again, no, again, we understand what's going on. So again, don't let it cloud your judgment. Don't let it, confuse you guys. Don't let it become an issue where, you know, we're abandoning all the stuff that we've learned in terms of how to work, how to hunt, how to fish, and we lose sight of that. It's just another opportunity where, again, people who thought they missed out on some great opportunity, they're going to get a chance to get in. Right? It's the summer of 22 all over again. It's fall of 21, spring and summer of 22 when we were hitting peak inflation. When they were
Right.
saying inflation was at 9%, we know it was really at 18% on
Hmm.
the old scale, right? But
Thanks.
we know they play games. They strip out food and energy for a reason because if they really told the truth, it will alarm a lot of people. All right. But that's where you guys come in because y'all get to speak this stuff into layman terms to the family member, right? To the new potential investor that wants to figure out how to, backstop his or her lifestyle through again being disciplined with their money, right? Exposed to that buying that bottle, what they I don't know what they drink. Today with the new expensive stuff out there today, I have no clue. But whatever that new expensive bottle is, you skip that on this club night and you put that into investment. You know what I'm saying? And you just sit on it. If nothing else, you can always cash that later. No harm, no foul. It might have grown a little bit, gain a
Mm-hmm.
little interest on it. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst case scenario? It gain little interest.
They need to take that parlay money and invest it because they throwing that parlay money away. My cousins
There.
like throwing away like $300 a month minimum.
Think about that.
Not everybody got $300 throw away. I will confess, open. Don't come for me. I'm throwing out 10 cents. 5 cents. That's cheap mine. Investment help me out, but I'm only doing like 50 cents. Not every day, every
Man,
other week, probably.
manageable though. That's manageable. See, that's the difference.
Yeah.
See, manageable excess funds is totally different than, because y'all know that we were, I'm saying this as if a lot of them say still young, but the idea when you come out of, grade school and the college or whatever, and you say, okay, I got all this discretionary money because your bills are not, you know, they're not tantamount. Again, you got a mortgage and all the other bills, whatever, kids to take care of. You got a lot of discretionary spend. Hence, the idea that you can make more mistakes while you're young and investing, as it is when you get older, when you got to be a little more calculative, right? In terms of how you invest. And you take a person that may have $300 in discretionary spend a month to parlay with, and you do that on a rolling 12, per annum schedule, like that's a nice bag, right? 300 times 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what, $3,600 somewhere around there? If I ain't mistaken, somewhere around there, somewhere in 34, $3,600. Like, how you gonna, like that's a whole, even if you was talking about escrow, right? The whole idea of an escrow, the $5 a day, right? Theory, right? Which is not even a theory, it's just smart, right? If you just saving $5 a day, that's what 1875 at the end of the year. You do it with two people, that's like $3,800 somewhere around there, give or take. Well, that's somebody's escrow for their mortgage, right? At the end of the year, even though it's coming out to your check when you pay your mortgage if you already have auto pay. But again, you just kind of recoup that money that you would have blown on something, again, tertiary to your needs anyway, right? That's why it's miscellaneous funds, but it could have been an investment vehicle. It could have been in a T bill that's paying out 4 or 5%. Money market accounts are paying out now. Like, how long has it been since a money market account actually paid out a worthy what? Coupon or investment or interest on it, excuse me. We haven't seen this stuff in a long time. Well, at least a lot of us in our lifetime, because the old heads, they were just like, man, forget that. Let me just go find a good dividend pay stock and load that up. Because money market, it just sucks. You
Yeah.
know, it made no sense to have money sitting and just collecting dust and then really gaining nothing. So banks just, they were just making a killing off your money anyway.
Yeah.
So either way, again, we understand that the dynamic now like never before. Again, there's the market, then there's markets. A political administration, that's a market, right? It's just a part of markets. It's part of the overall grand scheme. It does not have no overarching, reach into I should say, your disciplinary actions anyway when it comes to investing anyway, because again, at the end of the day, where they may have policy shifts and this, that, and the third, it still doesn't negate the value that these companies ain't shutting down tomorrow, right? Just because there was a regime change, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. Now, some of them may get caught in the crossfire because, again, the idea that this is a refurbished playbook in terms of the the commander in chief, if you will, you kind of already know where he's coming from. He came in telling you what he's going to do, and he's just doing what he said he's going to do, which is all for a politician, right? Typically, they
Mm-hmm.
come in selling you some goods, and then when they get in, they go do the opposite. Right? Dude told you what he was going to do, and he's doing it. That's shocking the mess out of everybody.
I
He
I
actually,
I
actually doing what he
understand
said he
so
was going
much
to do.
more. I understand so much more now that I'm actually working for the federal government. Like
Yeah.
now I
You.
have a clear
Mm-hmm.
view, and I'm a little bit older now too. So I was very young when I first started back then. I was like 21, 22. But I'm 30 now. I'm 31 now. So like I understand so much stuff more like better now. Especially since I'm like sitting in the seat, working in the federal
Yep.
government, seeing how things are being handled. Yeah, it's different. It's
It's a
definitely
whole different perspective, right? And see, I'm up here in the belly of the beast. I'm in the DMV. Like
yeah,
for every 1 in 5, or for every 5 people, there's at least 2 or 3 people that are government contracts, or they
yeah,
are federal employees in this area.
right.
I mean, I run into them at the hairdressers, somebody working for the Department of Education, somebody working down there in Woodlawn Social Security office, somebody at the IRS, somebody in Langley, because I'm right down the road from Langley, on the side of McLean, Virginia. That's where all, the headquarters and all that stuff at.
Mm.
There's a lot of people who contract, and this is the belly of the beast, if you will, right? For that people, they bring in outside foreign entries just even to work in these environments if they feel like they need that extra. It's crazy, but again, agencies, which we're seeing now with all this shake-up stuff, again, call it for what it is. Again, it kind of feels the same to a degree of what we dealt with under at least the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis back in 2008. Remember, that was a whole housing crisis, right? Subprime lending. How many agents got rocked up during that time, right? We know the housing was one of the biggest ones, of course, HUD and all that stuff, and the homeland. I mean, it was just a mess, right? I mean, banking and finance. Everybody has their moments, right? Then all in came all the regulations, right? Dodd Frank and all the other stuff came in, as a consequence to that. Well, what's happening now? You're getting what they call a wrecking ball to federal to base the government. Call it what it is. It's a wrecking ball to government now, where they're weeding out whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. They're weeding out a lot of agencies that became fringe in terms of how they just satellite themselves off to a bigger agency, and they was doing the work of what that said notarized agent should have been doing anyway. They just basically pushed paperwork off to somebody else and started a fringe aspect of government. So that's when you hear people say government got too big. That's what they're talking about, right? So that means there's more people you got to now hire to do the work of what people should have been doing over here anyway. The same with Congress. What did Congress do? They gave all their oversight power to the federal government down at Jekyll Island. And in came what? The Federal Reserve as we know it today. They always made it their fiduciary responsibility onto a private agency to handle all y'all money. And to this day, no one really bats an eye about it besides people who really got an issue with the Federal Reserve, which they have a right because they're playing Wizard of Oz with your what? Your livelihood at the end of the day. With the lowering and raising of interest rates and quantitative easing and buying mortgage-backed securities, they're just doing all kinds of stuff. Again, at the end of the day, who are they really protecting? Are they protecting Main Street or are they protecting Wall Street?
Question.
They're gonna take care of this. They shareholders first.
Yep. Always.
So it ain't even up for debate at this point. Again, it's like we should be. See, this is a game of, again, we've said this before. We already know what it is. This is a game of osmosis. If you're around it enough, it's gonna leach onto you one way or the other. You can still dismiss it, but you're not gonna be shielded from the information of what's really going on. It's still up to you to make that conscious decision whether you want to pull that lever or not. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna be around enough of the information where it's gonna make you say, "Well, dang, I see what's happening over here. I see what's happening over there." And what I'm being told over here is not reflective of what's happening over here. These people over here telling me, this is bad, this is evil, this is whatever, right? This is, whatever. You supporting the system, but okay, you gotta feed, clothe, and shelter yourself. Some kind of way. And it's gonna be based upon you having to kind of come up with some kind of value to accrue interest or excuse me, or currency to be able to, keep yourself going. Let you just live completely off the grid, and you don't have to worry about none of it. You got a stream out back, you got a property that you have to pay taxes. You know,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, you got to be living in the woods. You got to be straight. Yeah, you want some Bigfoot stuff, right? that ain't the world. That's not America, right? Again, not saying that people can't do it, but it's gonna be a stretch. So ordinarily, you have to say, well, if I'm gonna be around it or be in it, I gotta figure out a way to work within the confines of it in a way where it can benefit me. And everyone starts somewhere, right? Um. So again, I always tell people, for those who like, it's the Three Little Pigs, right? That's a case study. Now, who knew that's such a case study? I mean, you gotta look at that like a case study now. They can teach Three Little Pigs in the university now, and they were wild kids of this generation. When you make the parallel between that and investing, or in some kind of form of how to, protect your backside through, you know, going around the side, of you having to work hard, get an education to go out and, make your degree work for you, right? And you got money along the way that you put away too that kind of, help sustain you here and there, provide you some kind of level of, comfort when you may have a downturn or whatever. It may not be enough to keep you going for a long time, but guess what? You
Yeah.
got something that you can liquidate right at the push of a button on a sale, and that money now clears in one day. When it used to be, 3 days, 3 to 5 days, now we have what, T plus one?
Yeah. And
Money
that
clear?
goes right back to that leads right back to, hey, you got to sell your Pokemon. How you gonna do it?
It's
Economic
gonna take a
downturn.
minute. Right. You gotta find that
You see,
buyer. You gotta go through all that. I can liquidate my asset long as the market open. I can liquidate the asset instantly. That money ready to be sent to my bank the next day.
Facts.
In some cases,
yeah, I did.
they come now. They come with what, debit card. You can spend that money as soon as it hit your escrow or your best broker account. You got access to spend that money.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it takes 2 days for mine, so
No, it's
Yeah,
supposed to
depends
be
on
T
your
plus
bank.
one.
Yeah, T
Supposed to
plus
be
one
T.
now though. Yeah.
okay.
Now they just hit you. But what they do now, over brand, they slick with it. They do you on a rolling time schedule because some of
Mhm.
these banks they're on Central Time, and
Yeah,
it's the time zone scenario. So they really supposed to be working off East Coast time because that's where the banks settle. They do all their bank settlement through the Federal Reserve, which is on the East Coast. It's what it is.
Yep.
But that's how you kind of get around that. You got to get it sold and sent out before a certain time, depending on your time zone.
Yeah.
gotcha.
hmm
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but again, that in itself is revolutionary. Again, we're not talking about you having a dime holding up a dollar. That's how you look at that, right? A dime holding up a dollar moment. So you like, okay, no harm, no foul. I got access to this capital. I don't have to wait. Real estate, you got to wait, weeks to clear that deal. As again, some of those novelty investments, you got to wait to clear through certain channels, especially if there's a middleman involved. So now that's why the crypto market is beating that out now because there's no middleman involved. It's you and a buyer on the other end of a transaction, so to speak. XRP. Hence, that's what the XRP model is. It's running circles around a MoneyGram or Western Union, right? So, I mean, we're there now, guys. We're understanding how this works, but we shouldn't be surprised when stuff happens, right? We just need to kind of figure out how to, level up or level down depending upon the climate of the market where we at. We just hit an all-time high, literally what, a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago,
Yep.
and we're having a regime change, and it's picking up the market. Basically, just gave Wall Street a excuse to take a little bit off the top.
Mhm.
That's what this is. Now, of course, we would love for it to go down and hit some levels that we know how to now strategize for. We would love to get a pullback to that 530. I'm definitely waiting for 530, 535.
Facts.
You know, I got some
Mhm.
cash waiting for that area. I ain't crazy. I love a good discount. I love the bottom fish, y'all, and we will go catfishing in a minute. But
Yes,
Yeah,
listen,
sir.
yeah, we got some of them good old turkey backs out there waiting
Yeah.
in the water. Let them try it. And so already know what the overall market will look like if that happened, and it's gonna be like anything. The companies that have good moats, they're gonna be phenomenal during that moment. Again, it's the way that the market goes down makes people feel the kind of pain that they kind of are not prepared for. Right? Again, elevator down, escalator up. Which one is faster? That elevator down, right? So it's like it's okay. I get that. If you dollar cost averaging at some of these stocks that made these astronomical runs, and you say to yourself, "Man, I bought the top. It's a fool's gold market. This is bull crap." Somebody told me that this is a good time to buy. The what's wrong with that whole statement? Somebody told me it's a good time to buy.
Right.
Somebody, not just so the onus is on who? That somebody or you? It's
Mm.
on you, right? Because you pull that trigger at the end of the day.
Yep.
All right. So again, it's process and understanding how even that is important. So you don't come in under fool's gold narrative. That goes back to good teachers too, good mentorship, good communities like what we have. We have a good community, right?
Yep.
We're there. We look out for each other, and it's genuine. And it's based on the basis of the basics.
Mhm.
These are the most core tenet principles that anybody can learn, and they don't have to feel like they're being sold something because we can never sell you the market if we don't own it. And then number two, it's all based upon what you have, you're willing to invest anyway. Right. So you get to piecemeal your moment any way you want. You can tailor make it to your liking and your liking on it. Some people like lemon pepper, some people like teriyaki, some people like Cajun seasoning. But in the day, it's still a piece of chicken underneath all that seasoning.
Mhm.
That's what we're investing in today, the chicken. You can season however you want, but at the end of the day, the base principle is the chicken. Right? It's the
Mhm.
chicken. You ain't seen the air and frying air. I ain't seen that yet. I ain't seen a fried piece of air yet. I'm waiting on that adventure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, so this stuff is no brainer. It's just being strategic and understanding. So again, we broke down everything with Biden. When Biden came in office, we did a whole breakdown on the policies that he ran on and what we knew he was going to be what positive money for in terms of some of his industries, right?
Mhm.
EV, clean energy initiatives, the COVID stuff was going on. We know those companies going. Well, Trump is about what? The idea of bringing companies back to America, reshoring some of those companies. Now,
Mhm.
some people would say that that ship is already sailed, and we don't have the luxury to make such a bold move now to recalibrate our what? Our workforce.
Right.
That's debatable though, right? Because again, you either was going to run out of opportunities by offshoring everything anyway, which is the way it was going, and you're just gonna make everybody, a coder at some point in society. That means you're gonna make little Larry that's sitting down in a trailer in Mississippi. You're gonna have to turn around and teach him not how to, work on farm tractors and stuff like that, and teach him how to start coding. It could be done, but his interest ain't in coding.
Mhm.
His interest in the wrenches. He want to smell lubrication grease. He ain't a man unless he can smell some lubrication grease and run it through his nose like this. Him. That means
Mhm.
he's working. You know what I'm saying? He's working if he could do that. You know, again, everybody's not going to be able to kind of, put together a language model, you know, under the AI, infrastructure, right? They may be more down the line after that product has been efficiently, rated up against a lot of different data points, and then they produce a product. He then again takes that information and figure out how to re-engineer that product, right? How to break that engineering feat down, and then go work on it from that perspective, the end result. So there's always layers to an investment cycle or industries, in itself. And so that's how you always got to look at investing in the same way. Again, it's the people who make the picks and the shovels, and it's the people who make, the CAD, the software to produce that engineering, piece of item. The CAD people, right? Those people or the coders, whoever. So nothing new that we not prepared for, guys. Um, and so when people find those little investments out there like a NFT or a Pokemon card, again, don't swipe at the brother, right? But
Yeah.
you got to be able to kind of reach people where they are. Be like, okay, I get it. That's Cat Williams. Man, when you make the little sound bite, that's when you get your hair done at. Cat Williams, that's when you get your hair done at. They give you some Spain across the street over there, right? They do something totally different over there.
Right.
So you got to be able to say, hey, there's a lot of opportunities out there, bro. But let's rate it up against what they consider to be what you know evidence, right? How we say in the country community, source up or what?
Source up or shut up.
right? Data don't lie, right? The data don't lie. If there's a track record of data that coincides with that level of a thesis or hypothesis, whatever, then you will have to be able to produce that. Because if
Right.
not, empirical evidence is going to destroy that whole narrative in seconds. That's how
Mm-hmm.
fast ChatGPT is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
It's seconds of computation now that goes through a myriad of different data sets and kicks out the data to you in seconds now. So it's time over money. Again, mathematical equation.
Yep.
Now time is being shut down or shortened it down so much fast now with this computation power. Bro, you ain't waiting around. You ain't
Mm.
waiting for nothing. Like Fact Check and all these think tank like Moody's and all these people and man, look, Chat GPT, bro, on steroids. You didn't put together a whole business plan on Chat GPT.
Facts.
Chat GPT writing the whole albums now on for rap lyricists now. They give you a hard 16.
I use it for some of my coding. Like whenever I get stuck on some syntax and like I just can't figure out, well, if I don't want to figure it out, I can ask it certain questions and like it'll literally help me write code too at work.
Make that make sense. And it's in this early stage. Remember, right now they're trying to figure out how they're gonna regulate it, especially when it comes to university, because that's that fine line between plagiarism and essentially that it would be digital plagiarism, but ultimately it's not. Why? Because it's a compilation of different data sets. So no one person gets the full credit. You see what I'm saying? Unless you put in a straight citation from a certain excerpt, you can't really call it plagiarism, right? It would have to be
Mm-hmm.
that particular, cited work from that particular, IP holder of that work. That's why it's interesting how even the university is dealing with that now because it's cutting down writing and all the script by hundreds of hours. Especially on the research side of things, like bro. So
Yep.
it's just where we at. We're at a point now where we've always make the statement that we're in the age of information, right? We are in the age of information. It is. Everybody's getting a crash course on how to be better autodidact, mindsets. They don't have to go through all that, scouring and going through. Man, look, you don't have to even go to the Library of Congress anymore.
Really.
For the most part, if somebody
Mm-hmm.
already scanned that stuff and put it on the web, it's already there at this point. Right? Unless you just want to go feel the rustic of the paper and all that, like that's all I mean, it's
Yeah.
still some stuff there, but that's rare earth stuff that you go in there looking for that kind of stuff. You gotta even have special access to even get to that material anyway when you go up in there. They so slick with it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, again, we talking about use case at the end of the day. And, if it ain't a specialty to you where that's necessary, you ain't missing nothing. You're not missing at the end of the day. So again, it's just being able to retool yourself, and this is the best way to stay at the level of ingenuity and data harvesting in a way where you don't have to feel like you're being left out because now all this stuff is again it's on your smartphone. ChatGPT is on your Grok, Perplexity, right? All these different language model entities that are out there now, and then again that's why they have to make it visit. All of them gonna have to be open source to a degree because you ain't gonna have none that the next person already don't have that they already giving away for free.
Right.
What is DeepSeek? DeepSeek destroyed the whole margin narrative.
Yep.
It's like lobbing a grenade into a what a practice on the football field and they're running like everybody can get laid down. And that's what DeepSeek was. It laid everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
It laid down the video, Facebook, Microsoft, the video. It laid down everybody on one grenade lob.
It's
So
kind of scary though. DeepSeek is kind of scary. Like, I mean, it literally. I sat there and played with it one day, and it literally like goes through how it thinks through certain problems.
exactly.
It's
It
It's
that part right
showing
there.
is so
you.
Yeah.
scary.
It's giving you underlying code within the code.
It is
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
scary. And then it literally writes out the code in Python, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. So that's what you call. I mean, it's inference at the next level of inference. It's almost sentient to a degree. That's why I said to a degree. We ain't
Mhm.
there yet. We close. Because we were talking about this stuff a long time ago, guys, about where we're already headed in this regard anyway. Especially
Yeah.
when it comes to, again, data harvesting, right? This whole idea, even what Facebook was doing back then when they went through their little scandal, right? And them
Mm.
collecting all this data because they're getting a plethora of data from you every day that you're on these platforms. They just log in and stuff and they categorize it into, particular, geotagging, whatever, right? Now all that data that's out there, bro, you can just push the button and you can go anywhere. All that you're not getting from syntax text alone, you get the rest of it. You can get it now in what VR. You put on that headset and get immersed, bro. You gone. They've been making movies about that stuff since what the third, doggone what the 70s and the 80s, and guess what? Now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Matrix. It's
This is the
Matrix, man.
Jetsons. The whole thing we got, flying petrol cars. Yeah, that's coming at some point.
No, that's what I'm waiting on. That's what I'm
It's
waiting on.
coming.
Once we get there, like it's over with. I don't even know
It's
what
the
to
J-
think after that.
it's the Jets. It's all. I mean, look. So again, we're privy to understanding that we get to see things first, meaning at least as investors, because the companies are already laying out their roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
They're updating their white paper. The average person who's not invested in this stuff and who's getting it after it's already finished product, they didn't miss the whole nuts and bolts, right? So they come in later, be like, okay, is this a good investment? Like, bro, where was you when they was, cutting trees down or milling the steel, to get to this point? Like we were trying to tell you, hey, this is the time to start looking. Case in point, who's going public tomorrow? It's a particular company going public tomorrow that I was beating the drum about for a while. Even though I know we ain't been doing a lot of lives, but I post about when I can.
Uh,
CoreWeave is going live tomorrow, guys.
Who is?
CoreWeave. Y'all know who
yeah,
CoreWeave is?
Oh, dang.
CRWI.
Yeah.
CoreWeave literally is the mob headset under the video.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
That's
CoreWeave
crazy.
is a satellite company of the video, guys. Let me put it in layman terms for the people in the back. Just how China was getting all
Mm-hmm.
them H100 chips and them H200 chips, and when they wasn't supposed to get them, who was making them transactions for them? CoreWeave. They went through Singapore and backdoored it through China. That was
Mm-hmm.
CoreWeave. True story. Not only that, guess who? Guess how Nvidia was able to inflate their margin value on the chips that they were selling when they first came out with the AI punch, and they were saying how we got to now inflate the margin based upon the potential growth we was having with those Hopper chips. Guess how they were getting those astronomical numbers?
Mm.
They were doing it through CoreWeave.
Mm.
Basically, what they were doing, they were financing out chips before these even bought. The companies like Facebook or some of those smaller ones, they were giving them finance deals to buy them chips. So
Yep.
these were chips that wasn't even paid for, and they got the privilege to be able to put that on their bottom line, on their earnings per share, and a profit revenue share line of that, just by using CoreWeave to do these little financing deals on the back end, where they were protected under so-called security laws to make up such a you know it,
It was like a private placement.
make it make sense. I mean, we had been posting about that stuff. It was. I was like, this is crazy. Because I post about that stuff like religiously when it was happening. I was like, man, this is the most underhanded cooking the books if I ever seen something.
Yeah, they be doing that, boy.
Well, that's Wall Street.
Fraud Street don't miss a meal. Fraud Street don't miss a meal. So again, and they going public tomorrow. And it's weird too because my but when she came out of War College, at their graduation, before that, I met a couple of her classmates. I was there, whatever.
Yeah.
And because they were like, yeah, you the guy we've been hearing about. That's an investing guy. Give us some good stocks to look at going out. And I was like, and I gave a couple of those guys, some of her classmates. I told them about CoreWeave. I said, these are a couple of names you want to pay attention to. CoreWeave is one. I told her about XRP private, because now they going IPO now, right? And here we are. Eventually, they got cleared by the SEC. So by all intents and purposes, they're gonna end up going public now, right? Remember, because they got a security aspect of their business model. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but XRP actually has a
Yeah.
Ripple. It's
Ripple.
they going public under Ripple, which is
Yep.
different than their security token business. Uh, Another one was Cerebrus, right? That's another one to look out for. What was
They
the
put
other?
that in the man.
Yep. Kraken, definitely Kraken. You already know Kraken.
Yep.
OpenAI is given at this point. We already know that.
Is
There's other
Stellar
ones that's done. Say again.
is Stellar going public IPO soon?
Uh,
Because I seen them on
the security,
XLM.
except, I have to look into
Stellar
it.
Lumens. Stellar
Yeah,
Lumens.
Lumen. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen. I might have seen something. But I have to go double check. But because I'm a part of a lot of these startup investment engines. I subscribe to a lot of them. So they
Yeah.
they hit you with all the new stuff, before you can get early investments now, because that's a whole new thing now. Reggae, you can come in now a lot early now. They're giving the
Yeah.
little man time to kind of get in early now without having, security license to a degree in some of the cases, unless you're coming in at a higher tier where you're
That's
getting
a good
voter rights and
point.
all that.
That's a good point
Yeah.
because in order for you to be like an accredited investor, you got to have like a Series 65 or Series 7. So
Yep.
over hitting on key points, you can jump in early with a lot of these companies now. Hey, that's how I got the ETF. It was called Disney. What is not Disney 100, but Destiny 100 that has
Mhm.
SpaceX in it,
Yep.
Plaid, and some more other companies. OpenAI is in it too.
Yep. And you can get those package deals like that. That's envelope. That's an envelope.
Right,
Because the ones like SpaceX itself, you don't even touch that. Like they,
right,
they got
right.
extra shit. That basically how like remember what was that one? It was two companies that came out that time when they were going IPO, and then one both of them they got in early, and many of them other companies got in way early. So it was like no, some of them ones they just weren't going to touch it. But now the market has evolved so much. Now even those
Yeah,
guys are not the only ones that get a chance to do that now with those with those security licenses.
right.
So the game is opening up. Why? Because the thesis coming out of a lot of these companies who are like that, that's coming to market, they
Hmm.
realize that every dollar counts now. The nickel and dimes even count too. Now you could be a prestigious listing and separate yourself and get that, those big money underwriters,
Right.
right? But that game has changed now. They want those nickel and dime investors too, right? Because they seen that pop. I'm gonna tell you what did. Y'all know what did it? Y'all may laugh when I say it, but y'all probably already know before I said it. Guess what made them do that? GameStop and AMC.
Yeah.
They saw the power of the little man take down Wall Street veterans.
They definitely saw
They,
that liquidity
they
come in.
said these people crazy. Bruh. They took down whole investment firms, put them out of business.
Mm.
And when they get, what they call tunnel vision, they
Yeah.
get tunnel vision. They like, bro, we want some of that. We want some of that money.
Real
Regardless if we gonna
talk.
do good, they want some of that money. And so that mindset broke the model. I mean, you
Mm.
had old school founded firms that were complaining that they wanted the SEC to jump in and stop these people from being able to invest their money into a particular investment vehicle of their choice. And they were so mad that it was going against a lot of their short thesis, against a lot of their analytical, perspective, and broke the bank of how investing looks like going into the new, into the 21st century, going into something different. So
Mm.
cater that to the little guys, us, basically. Even though, we wasn't the rabbit, crazy and just like that. We did our little things too, but we knew how to get in and get out. Kiana, we hit AMC. We caught that run.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
and some of y'all did too. So again, that's how wonderful this stuff really is, guys. Where now again we talk about T+1, we have been waiting for that. Well, guess what's next to fall? Y'all know what's next to fall? PDT.
Yep.
That's really gonna open up the whirlwind. Boy, they talking about the apes and all these people now. I don't know what they call themselves now. They got all kinds of things. Boy, you talking about a new battlefield now? Let them take that
Mm-hmm.
TNT away. Because guess what? That's what online gaming is. It removed all those barriers, and now the little man get the man. He parlaying the death, making a killing on some of these sports and all the other stuff.
Right.
Th- You can bet on elections now, bet on candidates now.
Yep.
You know
Robin
what I'm saying?
Hood.
Again, I mean, we're at full. We man, look, we at full port right now, right? When it comes to understanding that the opportunity investment cycles, or the I should say, the investment landscape has changed drastically now, where the most minutia of potential investors are having an equitable chance to now submit themselves into this opportunity in ways that they probably never thought was. It was already there, but they just was intimidated by it. You know what I'm saying? The idea that only old white men invest in the markets, right? That piece has been blown away, right?
Yeah.
That's been blown away. So again, these fintech companies, they want those nickels and dimes. They're not worried
Mhm.
about the $100. They're not worried about the money phone invest. They're not worried about that now. They want them nickel and dime. They're going back to the penny candy theory investing now, or the ideal of what that looks like.
Right.
Well, I'm still intimidated, so I need to get back on it and learn more.
We got you. We got you. But again, it's again the fractional share perspective of it now is like it's larger than life. Again, the idea that you can take your Cash App card, go buy, what, a chicken box or a chicken bucket, and guess what? The stock back, the money that you get on the back end, the loose change, the overage, it goes into the investment vehicle.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, oh,
And
but that's another one
you,
that's gonna IPO pretty soon too. Acorns.
yeah,
That was
well,
supposed to.
yeah,
They was supposed.
they're
They was
going.
gonna post a. They was supposed to
Yeah.
IPO a couple of years ago.
But
Yep.
remember, a lot of stuff got stopped sidelined because of COVID. Remember when COVID hit, it killed a lot of IPO projects
Yeah.
because the
Yep.
capital wasn't there, or it wasn't. It was stationary because the Fed helicopter money done for going on to certain what securities that what they was buying. But
Yeah.
the companies that had the bigger most, they was the only ones really benefiting from it. So it wasn't like it was spread around equitable to a lot of the small cap, because we know the only way the healthiness of your market is based on the small cap, right? What
Yeah.
what your small mom and pop business is doing. If they not healthy, your overall market is sick. No matter how good your top tier is doing, if everybody
Right.
else ain't eating, then you running on, no, that ain't a healthy
Mm.
market.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You know,
Acorns they're changing. I know they upping the membership prices too, and they adding like tax service too, where you can file your taxes.
mm.
So they are changing up some stuff, but they
Yeah,
hiking
Cash
them
App does
prices.
it too now. Yep.
Yep.
A lot of them companies getting that they doing what they call a one-stop shop of all your financial needs. And that's
Facts.
what fintech did in turn to destabilize bank. Because y'all know I've been on that drum, beating that drum for years. I was
Yep.
like, man, stop messing with these banks, leave banks alone. Do not be fooled by that foolishness anymore. The banks of our parents' days is not the banks of us today. We are a whole new generation. We need fintech and fintech on. Hence, y'all know I'm a big proponent of FINRA over FDIC. FDIC has it in place, but
Yeah.
it's not the end all be all in terms of how you need to think about banking and using those institutions for your what your well being.
Yeah.
FINRA gives you a lot more. FinTech gives you a lot more. You know, wind at your back to make a lot of different monetary moves, and worry about a bank sitting there holding you up, a dime holding up a dollar theory. What banks was doing
Yeah.
to
Like
the point where they got
I
forced
think
to upgrade their abundance model
yeah, I think we talked about that before too. I remember
several times.
Brandon, like a few weeks ago we was talking about
Mm,
you know the amount that FDIC covers if a bank failure happens, and people start doing a run on their money and whatnot.
hmm
Like you
Yeah.
screwed if you if it's more than 250,000.
Think about it. All the people that got bailed out, them
Yeah,
people in California, Silver Lake, all the other people, not Silver Lake, Synchrony, and then butted them out there in California, man. Like
yeah,
you couldn't make this stuff up.
right.
They literally got a get out of jail free card.
Yep, sure did. That's
They
crazy,
would
man.
never do that for the hood. These people got bailed out from knowing the risk that they were dealing with, What federal government went in and bailed these people out, make it make sense. Why? Because they were donors, they were high echelon asset holders, and that's what the government protects more than anybody. You
Yep.
already know the chips are stacked against you. You know it's a rigged game. Don't
Yep.
convince yourself that it's not.
Right.
They protect asset owners first. Why? Because they are the shareholders of so-called a corporation of America. We
Right.
are in a corporation.
Yep.
Stop playing with yourself. You think it's different.
That's what people don't understand, man. This is a business.
This
This
is a
ain't
business,
why they don't care about your feelings and emotions. And even when you
not
tear
none the
shit
first,
up, they know how to put you back in place.
because they got insurance.
Yep.
That's what a currency is. That's why they got
Got
beauty bars.
insurance.
They got all kind of bars for everything. We started learning this. I like, man, they got a bar for everything, bro.
Oh, that's
Facts.
crazy.
Warrants and bonds. Boy, look, you can't beat these people at their game. You
Hell
can't beat them
Yeah,
no.
at
that's
their
funny.
game.
Yeah.
Bruh, they got you beat 5 ways for Sunday. So how you gonna compete against that? It's a game of, again, it's separating people who don't understand how money works. It's separating the money from them and putting it in the hands of people who understand how the system works. That's why the tax conversation will always be one of the most biggest topics on the planet in terms of taxation in this country, because we already know we overtax.
Right.
Clearly. The
On
bad problem
everything.
about it is that when they overtax you, is what are they doing with those tax dollars?
Right.
Well, you're seeing what they're doing with the tax dollars. They're sending it down range to everybody else except you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're telling you to look at, see them doing it, and then shut up about it. Like, why are you complaining, bro? You get to go to McDonald's at 2 a.m. in the morning and get
Right.
you a McFlurry, what, whatever, bro. And they telling you to shut up and just be happy with that. Like, no. Uh-uh.
Yeah,
So
that's
again,
good.
you got to see it for what it is, guys. We get it, but knowing the importance of it in terms of you having the wherewithal to sit through this level of pain, it's like going through a bad breakup, bro. You know it stings in the beginning, but over time, guess what? It began to work itself out. Why? Because your brain go through a whole rewiring in its
Yep.
own self, and that's just life, right? It ain't no different. You got to think about it. The people out here doing the most dirt in the world, they got to constantly keep doing dirt to keep themselves relevant, because they're not take the moral high road and do what's right, because that's that means they have to give back everything that they stole. So it's self-fulfilling prophecy. They got to stay on the track 24/7 on the
Yep.
run for a lot of reasons, because again they know that they're one step away from getting what exposed.
Mm-hmm.
The system is designed in that same likeness. They're one whistleblower, one something from being exposed. Now, sad about it, it's been happening so long, we already know that it's there.
Yeah.
So we're not surprised. It's just those people who really want to believe in the ideal of the American dream that are surprised by this stuff. But most of those people are immigrants.
Yep.
People who've been on the boots on the ground, got thousands of family members in the ground here. We know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
We just say, okay, it took y'all this long to expose this foolishness. So this is where all our money went. This all our reparation money is going to, a study on how to make, rats, you know, transgender or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, this is stuff that they were just taking money, just saying, we got all this money just to blow. This is Congress going to the club making it rain.
Oh yeah.
They're not making any other comparison. That's all this is. This was them taking your tax dollars and making it rain in the club.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You be like, bro, where them bridges at? Where them school books at? Where them,
And
where
we
that money at?
we were talking about that some of that last night about how frequent these storms is happening now. You got 70, 80 tornadoes in one
Knock on
state
wood. I was
for
telling
like a
my head,
month or two.
same thing. Remember back in the 80s? What was the big thing back in the 80s for some of y'all that, old enough to realize, or even early 90s? Remember the old acid rain theory? Remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Acid rain used to kill out whole species of lakes. Meaning it was the rain, the water was so acid or acidic that the fish would die, right? So that means that ecosystem was now destroyed, because the areas where those acid rain scenarios were happening, it was a environmental, issue, and where like they had to study that stuff, and then guess what it turned out to be? there were chemical plants that were close by, going up in the ozone, getting in the cloud. The sun can't produce enough ionic, detoxification of all the chemicals, and the rest of it fell back down into what? To the earth through what? Precipitation. That's where the acid rain came from.
Yep.
Polluting plants and all that stuff. So again, we are our worst enemy, granted, but we understand how these things work. It's again, it's speciation even through how that stuff unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
So again, ain't nothing new under the sun that we ain't witnessing. It's just the people who are in charge of this stuff are hyper. They are hyper vigilant, or they are hyper, you know, aggressive in terms of how they're feeling like they got to rob everything they can before the grave train is over.
Mm-hmm.
Congress is riding through Gravy Valley with biscuit wheels. Y'all remember that old school saying? That's
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing. They be riding through
Yeah.
Gravy Valley with biscuit wheels, bro. Telling you to shut up.
Yep.
While they spend your money on XYZ and having the whole framework of those guys had Philip McCoy, right, Republican, they tell you to shut up and be happy. Bro, you get to go to McDonald's at 2 a.m. in the morning. What you complaining about?
Shouldn't be complaining about nothing.
So again, it's crazy, guys, now that all this stuff is happening again. We should be having blinders on right now. We already know what it is. Put them blinders on and do what you've been doing. Do what you do best. Bottom fish when you get a couple of coins here and there. Cut back when necessary because you should know how to read recessionary what signals to let you know whether the market is going to take a downturn or not. In terms of
Yes.
your capital excess spending, you should know already how to pull back when there's times when you know the market's going to go through what? A little turbulence.
That call awareness. Got
That's
to be
why
aware
we
of your surroundings, man.
at all times read the room. That's one of the grandest statements of all time. Read the room.
Facts.
Don't let it read you. Know how to be close to the exit. Know who the loudest in the crew. Know, what lights will work, where the fire extinguishers are at. Know how to read a room when you go into it. That's
Facts.
all this is, guys. So again, we built for this. Ain't nothing new to us. It's just okay. Let me adjust. Let me understand what's going on. Let me not get attached to none of this stuff. Realize, my capabilities, essentially your capabilities, and work within the confinement of what you have. You'll be fine
Yep.
because it's a boom cycle gonna come out of this one way or the other. It ain't even really bad. Now it's just the idea that it feels like that because you got regime change, right? So while all that stuff sorting itself out, you saying what is the market doing? Okay, the market's only down what 8, 9, 10% from its highs. That ain't Armageddon.
Oh,
You got people
absolutely
wishing for
not.
its downfall. You think about it, you got people actually wishing for its downfall, but for more nefarious reason, as opposed to it being okay, a moment the dollar on average. You got people actually betting against administrations now on the nefarious side of things,
Right.
burning up Capitol dealerships, throwing bricks through people. Y'all, it's crazy out here now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild, boy.
That's when you know we didn't hit peak craziness. Like, bro, we there now. We here now. We doing that now, right? We we throwing we doing whole Molotov cocktails at My saw some other day, homie, the grocery outlet. I saw it. It was a dude got caught because them Tesla got cameras all around them, right?
Yeah.
They use a dude got caught the other day. Uh, uh, y'all know who it was,
I
what
saw
type it
it too.
was.
I
And
saw
you already
it.
know I'm going there. So you already saw it through there.
Wait, what was he doing?
He just went in his nasty, crusty, unbathed backside, ran his hand up and down his crack several times, and put it on the handle of a taxi car. Back there, the
Hell
camera caught him
no.
doing it. Dude,
I'd have
so
shot that nigga.
big,
Hell no. I'm sorry.
nasty, naughty looking one of them type. Y'all know I ain't gotta say it. He just kept going. The camera caught him going in his backside, smeared all over the handle. Kept doing it. Then he walked away like nothing happened.
It
That's
was
You
a
I
talking
said,
about
that's
little.
you
a
put
nasty,
It was a
dude,
little greasy too. Like you could see
nasty.
the
a
streaks on the
nasty
test.
summer
look,
in my man, in
buddy
my
the
Bernie
buddy had
Mac voice.
Somebody had Schmuckers on his
Yes.
Boy,
on his
he
door
had
Yes.
handle.
Nasty
that
man.
extra, he had that gun peanut butter. Man, I started thinking it cold. Bro,
Boy, shit like
a
peanut oil.
nasty summer gun.
Nasty
That,
man.
but that's some next level mental illness, bro. That's some
Mhm.
Huh?
mental illness. That's what you call crashing out times 10.
Yeah. That boy got that peanut oil, huh?
Boy, somebody had, but that Chinese version, it's not hard. It's not hard.
Oh man,
But you,
talk about extra chunky.
bro, peanuts and all, and that corn niblet. But you couldn't make yourself up.
Pig, you been eating corn again?
Man, the landscape now is going full port crazy, bro. So again, not only that you got to watch out for all that foolish now, because all these, because I'm up here like where I'm at, where I live at, man, especially on this like Tyson Corner, I don't know if y'all familiar with this area. This basically, where I live is basically Silicon Valley on the East Coast,
Yeah.
right? Reston, Herndon, Fairfax County, Loudoun County, that's where all the money at. They come from the West, they come here. If not New York, right? Or they got a lot of transplant business. Google, all that stuff is here. Amazon, all their headquarters, City, all the credit card companies down in Tyson Corner, Microsoft, all of them corporate businesses right down the street. So the dealerships are here. You got all them type dealerships. So this is already, a weird place because of the melting pot economy here and the demographic. But this kind of like, a lot of that French crazy stuff as well. But again, you
Yeah.
still got some of the old school Southern people mixing this in this forward this stuff too, right? Them don't trade on me license plate, them type. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes for an interesting, environment in itself because we are living an immigrant headquarter. Where all the immigrants come through here. That's why, Washington has a big Ethiopian population, Somali up in Minnesota, East
Yeah.
Indians, literally from India, all of them come through here. They fly
Right.
in through Dulles and they drop them off right in Herndon, Centerville, Burke, or the Burke area down that part of Fairfax County. That's where all your Koreans at. All your Asians. This is ground zero for all immigrants. All that is here. Russians, everybody's here.
Right.
So I'm saying to say this here. They're coming here to fill in the slots and where in terms of the NGOs and these lobbies that want to bring the people here to meet certain quotas on the immigrant side. I mean, most of these people are coming through, at least on that end, they're coming through the H-1 visas, and that kind of stuff. But the flip side of that is that all the others, the illegals, they're down in Manassas area. They're on the fringe aspect because those are the people who doing all the work, clean up after all these mansions around here, the maids and all that. That's here too.
Right.
And then you got all the people in between, like the Miss Millie, they're lobbying. You got the Miss Millie who like the maid, and then you got Miss Millie who don't want the maid here. She like, no, send them. It's all that in one spot.
You need to bake them
So it is,
pies. Color pie.
man, it is crazy, bro. And again, it's man, it's so I'm just saying, y'all probably sitting in your own jurisdiction because, of course, you up there in Chicago area, Brandon. You know what it's like. But that was the whole experiment with Brandon Johnson. I can't wait for them to fry him, right? But that's another conversation. It's just
Boy, they wait.
all
They
this,
waiting too.
man.
They waiting.
They got his number, this ticket already punched, bro.
Boy, they
He
got
on
this boy
borrowed
shook.
time. He on borrowed time. So, again, all that stuff is climate, is on high, is on red alert for a lot of these places. But above all that, guys, no matter where you at, even down there in Texas, you know what's going on in Texas, down there where you at, Overcrest. That's a whole
Yeah.
firestorm in itself too.
Yep.
That the representation, how the Texas is going, and they already saying that Democrats can lose about 13 more seats in the next primary.
Yeah.
They already projecting that. They these people are crashing out so hard now
I
that they
see.
may not come back in the next. It may take them about a decade even to get their feet underneath them.
Yeah.
Because they went that full. They went. Yeah, it's the saying go. Y'all know this just it's all fun and game, but though you got to mean that you never go full. Full retard. They went full retard.
Mm.
So much so that I'm using that in a soft manner. There's no disrespect to anybody, but
Yeah.
that's the mentality that they chose to put a lot of those things over that of the doing the work of their constituency in a way, a lot of ways. But I'm only using that from an investment value where the value of the investments that was coming into the market. Let's say when the market turned in 2023 in the summer, all that was manufactured. We know what a manufactured market looks like. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was the dump. It was the T-bill issuance from Janet Yellen. How she was just playing the role of Wizard of Oz, and then it was being backstopped by Jerome Powell and a lot of his commentary and what they were trying to do at the Fed and soft roll, what was going on. It was all artificial. Again, that's what a Keynesian market feels like. If there ever was a case study for you guys to garner and get behind, look at what happened from the summer of 2023 up until where we are today before Trump took over office.
Yeah.
A lot of that was manufactured. Remember,
Yeah.
the job numbers were a complete lie. They overstated over 1.1 million, 1.2 jobs
Of course.
in less than
Always.
9 months. Anybody else that would have done that, they would have got fired. Nobody went to prison. No one got fired, bro. Make it make sense. So again,
Yep.
they went hyper aggressive. They doubled down on what they were doing, and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Yep.
Because people were like, bro, we at a point now where this gotta stop. Some of this gotta Occupy Wall Street was one thing. This right here was a whole new different one on steroids.
Yep.
This was what a lot of people was not ready for this, right? Just keep it 100. They weren't ready for what was happening. With all the immigrant stuff, with all the money's at, where the money at, bro? FEMA people, whole hurricane came through and demolished whole cities, and the FEMA saying they were broke. How? Sway? How? Where that money went? Oh, y'all spent it on 5-star hotels for immigrants, illegal immigrants, and people was not going to sit around and allow that to happen, bro. You could be the most bleeding heart liberal person, still like, bro, yeah, that's a little bit crazy there. Cause not you might have a family member somewhere in that downline. Think about what Katrina did. It exposed a lot of that too, right? So that's how come we know that it's all a hustle.
Yeah.
So we ain't confused about this stuff, guys. That's all I'm saying. When you see them for who they are, believe them. When they show you who they are, believe them. Just learn how to work around them. That's all you got to do. So it's no harm, no foul, guys. So again, you can have your political affiliations if that's even the case. Again, I don't partake in it. I speak to it because we know it has a lot of value. It has value and weight in the markets. It
Right.
is a data metric in the market. Let's not kid ourselves. Political, whatever, it has a data set for the market. If that wasn't the case, why are we having the market go through a gyration with the tariff war? We know what it is. Wall Street hate uncertainty. They cannot put a number on the cost of what this gonna look like. It's too soon. They trying to buy too soon, prematurely, and they get ran over. And mainly it's retail.
Yep.
Right? So again, you got to sit still, be calm, know how the bottom feels. We're trained for this stuff. Brush up on your skills, go back to your chart, get your back testing on, sit and it's gonna play itself out. You got people now starting to come lower the S&P 500 per annum expectations now all of a sudden. Well, we knew that was gonna be the case soon as Trump got in the office because a lot of people that made those predictions, they made them predictions last fall.
Yep.
2026 or 2025 gonna be S&P 500, 6,400, 6,900. You had people like Yardenia, he was talking about 7,100, 6,800,
Yeah.
7,100.
Well, he was optimistic.
He was overly optimistic. Boy, that boy walking around with he hit boy again.
Like, man, this guy.
Bruh, you couldn't talk the market up enough at that point. Even if you caught some tailwind spurts,
Right.
so even Tom Lee had to reevaluate his goofiness.
Yep.
Right, bruh. So again, we're ready for this stuff, guys. We understand that's just big money trying to talk their books, and they know that there's a legion of people out there that are ready to, at their beck and call, make these kind of these loose investments just because their guy gotta get gave them some semblance of they feel like this is not gonna be worse than it is. All we're saying is like, dude, why be premature? Dude been in office now going on with about 60 plus days, 70 days. Here's how y'all look at this. He's giving you mandates, meaning he's giving you deadline dates, right? He's giving you a hard dates, right? They're not even tentative at this point. He's saying, hey, This date we're gonna do this. So you already should say, okay, if I'm looking at this stuff objectively, the market is already going through a lot of this consolidation. I mean, volatility now, based upon the uncertainty of not knowing how to put a number on it, so they can make a sound investment. Sit patient. If the investment you already made came out of last year, they already should be cooking. If you, especially if you caught, the lows of 23, you still
Mm-hmm.
up substantially, even on stocks like on the video, even though it's pulling back now. You still up on a lot of these stocks. Some of
Right.
them was already had base and they just went up and they kind of pulling back now. Or some of them were already at their peak and they just falling harder now because they were already overly saturated, right? They were already overblown and overbought. So it ain't nothing new. You're just playing channels, so to speak. You're
Hey, Opa, do you
playing.
do this?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Do you do the same thing when he's speaking about these tariffs? Like you still sit back and just wait and let these tariffs come? He's,
Yep.
do you?
So
Okay.
now go ahead.
Okay.
What's the
I'm
one
just
market that we look at when it comes to this stuff? What market really affects tariffs more than anything?
the consumer market, most
Commodities.
commodities. Yeah.
Right. So consumer markets is based upon what? The wholesaler. Who the wholesalers? And what are the finished products coming out of them wholesalers? Commodities,
Mm-hmm.
metals, salts, lumber, reshoring, remanufacturing. Manufacturing is based upon what? Materials, industrials, health, and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? It takes you back to the basics. So that was his whole stick the first time, remember? Build back better, all this stuff, and make America great again. The first time they were trying to get these manufacturing plants up and running, and dealerships and steel and all this stuff and oil. That's all industrial. That's Dow component for the most part. The tech
Yeah.
stuff gonna do its part because it's gonna figure out how to outfit those manufacturers with new age technology. But everything take care of itself once you get what a blueprint on what the money gonna look like. So a lot of this investment now is based upon what manufacturing empowerment.
Yep.
Right? Have to deal with insurance or whatever the case, right? Really going on. We just like when Biden came in, what we were ready for Biden. Was we not? We laid
Yeah.
out his whole plan in a myriad of what? Just looking at what he was coming in under.
Mm-hmm.
So we were ready for it. It wasn't new to us. We were like, okay, run it. Run it. You know, no more, no less. So ain't nothing new to us. We've been ready for this stuff.
That's a fact.
Let me send this message real quick. So yeah, so again, we're prepared for this, guys, and much as it would seem as if you know it feel like the world is falling, and we bleeding money. All this. No, we not. We again, just be patient. Um, can y'all hear me? Testing, testing.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
got
you.
you.
I just switched to that speaker. Let me try to change it real quick. Hold on, I'm getting these messages and people blowing up my Bluetooth, messing up my line. Hold up one second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, there we go. I put it back on the Bluetooth. My bad. Sorry about that. I mean, it's just checking over. That's all. But yeah, that's all it is, guy. I know I'm about to end it here anyway. 'Cause, I made it to the house. I'm just sitting there before I go
Okay.
in. But no, it's just, I just wanted to speak to those things because again, I just, definitely you was a catalyst tonight, Chris, and that was an interesting conversation, a necessary one because you got to be able to catch those things early.
Right.
Not, a lot of our people will hang out in such a space like that. Again, I know you're a reseller, so you kind of move around. You know what's going on out there. A lot of our people already know what's going on, but yeah, it's a great moment to have a good case study moment because if you look at where we came from again ICOs, from the NFTs to all kind of stuff that we've already seen,
Right.
we already know what the market, what this when it gets like that to that level of fringe, you got to know your risk level at that point, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all it is. And a sound investment will always be a sound investment at the end of the day, based on its risk parameters. Ain't nothing new under the sun at this point when you learn some of the basics of the game. that will throw you off your square in a way where you will make such an incendiary, statement and or investment without being very thorough in your research. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just obvious. There's too much data out there now. Even if you at a novice level, you would still have enough skittishness to say, well, let me look at the chart. Let me look at where they've grown, how they've grown. Let me see if they have any kind of, pertinent news that's out there that shows that they have potential value of growth still. You can kind of put two and two together just by basic, surveillance and understanding. So ain't nothing new. So you
Right.
just got to understand. Don't let people again, confuse you or take you off your square and nothing like that. Let me shut this window. My skimming movie. But no, that's all it is, guys. So again, when you see stuff like that happening, man, don't sweat, don't get upset, guys. Oh, not upset, but don't get confused. I should say that way. Don't
Right.
get confused about what's going on, and everything else will be fine, man. It'll be it's good money out there
Mm-hmm.
because
He went out again.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully he pop back in. Yeah, when he said that, bro, I was laughing. I was like, he said false. I was like, Bray, come on, bro.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I thought that was. I thought that was. I thought he was joking. I was like, but he was serious. I was like, oh no.
Chris, that's it's really sad. People really believe that.
Yeah, he was dead
I mean,
serious.
Yeah, that it like
But
I don't even like I want to tell them I want to get in those conversations, but it's like honestly sad. And then if they're convinced, it's like really nothing that you could do. You can say what it is, but they really
right,
yeah.
believe stuff. So
I mean, do you compare Pokemon cards to comic books?
that's a
right,
better
And
comparison.
right.
right.
I mean, like what the first episode, the first edition of a Superman is what 500 million or something like that, or $5 million.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm quite sure there's a market out there for one, or there's somebody willing to pay that much money. But I mean, like almost the same thing. That Pokemon card is gonna be hard to find. So
right. I had to use Chucky, man. I had to use Chucky to laugh at him. But he
yeah,
was tripping. Chucky ain't having that shit. What are you fucking nuts? Yeah, I think he was nuts. I think he was nuts, man. I'm just like, brother, you have no idea how big what you're saying is insane. And that's
yeah,
okay. I'm okay with you being ignorant to the fact. Because,
And some people hate the stock market, forex market thing anyway, because a lot of people got scammed back in the day, so they just don't believe in it.
yep.
When
Or
the
they
black
or they
market's
be like
rising,
or they be like man, the stock market be going down. I'm just like,
yeah,
what in the hell uh keeps his value and never loses it?
nothing.
I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? That don't make sense. All things go down in price. It don't just stay the same. Just like you can't get chicken for $5, every year. It's gonna go down, it's gonna go up.
Mhm.
It's part of the ebbs and flow. So I'm just like, that's all good, man. You know sneakers and you somehow know Pokemon, but you do not know finance, my good brother. That's for sure. And I hope a salamander or a Pikachu ain't your retirement plan.
yeah. No, he said a Pikachu.
Yeah, because it's supposed these booster boxes, it's supposed to have all of this value or whatnot, but they take energy and storage and all of that stuff that you gotta have, and I'm just like, that's costing you money too. It's not costing me nothing to buy stock and hold it.
Did you share the video to the group chat? Because I didn't see it. I
Yeah,
want to.
it's in the group chat.
I want to watch it because this conversation is interesting.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was gonna come on and do a video on. I was like, oh snap, okay. Uh,
Which one is it?
it's
Okay.
it says Unbreakable. My brother Unbreakable Kicks.
Okay. I see
Yeah,
it.
video.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
He dropped off, so I'm gonna watch it and because I want to see what's going on. He dropped off. I don't know if he coming back, but it was nice chatting with y'all.
yeah.
Y'all,
Good to hear
yeah.
from you, sister. Glad you're doing
Yes.
okay.
Yes, it's good to hear from y'all too. Hopefully I can get back into learning some of this stuff again because I'm more mature now. I'm older.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
I was super young back then. I was like 21. I was trying to get engulfed into it, but I wasn't mature enough back then. Like I dibbled and dabbled. Like, I was really big into Forex at one time.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
just kind
yeah.
What
of went away from
what
it, but I really want to get back into it. I don't really know where to start though.
I
I
got a
mean,
question for you. What was your turning point? Like why I know you said you mature, but what makes you want to dibble and dabble back into it now?
I started a business, so my business did very well. And
Okay.
it didn't really like intend to start a business. It was more like a hobby and it turned into a business. So it took all of my time. Plus I work full time as well in tech. So I just got away from it, just like trying to juggle too many things at one time and not really paying attention to my investments and not
Oh,
giving the time I wanted. So I just walked away instead of like losing money. I just walked away from it for a while. And then when I was so engulfed in everything else, I just never came back to it. And it's
yeah,
only been a couple years.
yeah,
Now that I'm looking at my 401k, I'm looking at so many different things. I'm looking at the things that I'm investing in now. Like I still have my investments, my long-term investments. I
yeah,
just want to get back into it. I'm a homeowner. Like I'm just more mature now.
yeah,
I'm understanding like my business is cool, but I gave myself another job and it's not something I necessarily have to do. So I'm just restructuring everything.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
I'm more so looking at like a passive. I don't want to work two jobs. I want to be passive with most of the things that I do. So I'm even changing my whole business model, um, so that I don't have to be like engulfed in it all the time. So
Right.
then it's freeing up my time now to be able to get back into investing because I started like with Forex.
Yeah. Yeah. You was killing it forex too.
I was doing really good. But after the whole like the whole iMarkets live thing,
Oh
well,
yeah, that shit was crazy.
yeah, I was like, And then it was so volatile. And so that's how I started like learning about options. And I did kind of good. Like I did all right. I did a little something.
Yeah,
I made pretty good money, but I really didn't really buy into it because I started with Forex and I was really heavy into it. So making the switch, everything didn't really click, and then I didn't have the time to dedicate to it. So yeah.
yeah, I get that.
But now I want to get back into it. I need to go back. I still have all the books. So maybe I'll start back reading some books or something, but I need to get back into the whole world of this because like I understand it more now.
Yeah, that's good. It just shows you growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can take it more serious now. Because when you're
Yes.
young, you're trying a bunch of different things, trying to find your way or whatnot. So I totally get that. That
Yeah,
makes
I was ready for the fast money.
yeah,
I was getting the
Ready
fast
for the
money.
family.
My business has been doing really good. So I
yeah,
was used to making thousands of dollars of extra income like at the drop of a dime. So instead of doing the work and making the long-term residuals, I just went for the fast money because it was just simple. It was like super easy.
right.
Yeah.
I
But
get it.
now that like all that is, it's still going good, but my heart ain't in it. So I want to get back to what I was originally focused on because that's the big bag.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
I've been seeing y'all been doing great. Like you got a certification, Chris?
Yeah,
I
yeah, I got the SIE, that's like the like the introductory model. That I'm not gonna lie, that shit is not easy. It felt easy to me, but it just covers so much. Uh,
Yeah.
just covers so much material.
What does that allow you to do?
So I can basically give, I can give advice,
Hmm.
but if I want to be like specific, like talk about like certain vehicles, I can still do that. But I need to. I'm studying for the Series 66 right now, so and that covers actual investment advice and being like a stockbroker. So
Mm.
it's like a co-requisite with the Series 7. Because the Series 7, is a stockbroker. They execute trades,
Okay.
and stuff like that. And then the 66, you kind of like a broker dealer agent and you're an investment advisor rep. So you kind of do both, but you need the 7 to go with it.
Okay, well, congratulations. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Congratulations.
yeah, appreciate it.
We've been doing this for so long. Like, we've been in this space for so long. So the fact that you were able to do that, that's like amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't understand. I be telling when we be doing our lives, I be telling the new people, man, we've been doing this for so long. I'm just like we got people in our chat. They may not say nothing, but they've been around. They trade, they invest. But
Yeah, I've been around since like I was 21. I'm 31 now, so that's been 10 years.
yeah, so I'm just
Where do
like
y'all go live at so I can start back tuning in?
we be on YouTube on Mo's channel.
Okay.
Uh, so
Okay.
when she posts the link, well, I'm gonna tell her to start posting the link in both chats. I thought you was in the train group with us too, but
Econ?
yeah,
I thought I was, unless they booted me out. I
I
should
don't
be
know.
though. I should be though. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check to see. Maybe I got it muted or something. I don't know.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
archived or something. But I'll check it out. Yeah, I definitely want to get back engulfed in this. I've learned so much. Like even when I bought my house, when I was so young, I bought my house. I learned all that stuff from like Mo and them. Like Mo literally taught me so much stuff. So
yeah, yeah.
whole group is valuable. That's why I didn't leave. Super
Damn, I can't believe you was 21. Yeah, you was young. I
yeah,
forgot.
I was
Yeah,
very young. I just graduated college.
damn, this
What?
is a long ass time, man. Damn,
Mhm.
Shit
that
flew
shit
by
went
though,
by
didn't it?
fast as hell, man.
It does. It
God.
definitely does. Like I met, they live here in the Columbia area in South Carolina. So
Yeah, yeah,
I think I met them by watching Sinetta or something.
yeah,
And so yeah, and they were like they were in Columbia and they were having a conference. So I just showed up one day and that's how I started getting into meeting everybody. So yeah, they have taught me a lot from government contracts to buying houses and saving and all that. So I've learned a lot, investing. So yeah.
yeah.
I
We
never
don't.
left now. I just walked away. I just took a little break, focused on my career a little bit, focused
Yeah,
on the business, but
ain't nothing
not
wrong with that.
everything,
Yeah,
know.
ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Shit, we all get it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't got licensed, so
Yeah.
I couldn't be everywhere at the same time. I had to buckle down. Like I'm still studying now, but um, I don't even trade that much. I think I probably traded like twice in the last 3 months.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't even trade that much like
I need to
that.
get back into it. I got all the emails and everything. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
start back looking through the stuff. And I know I talked to him earlier this year.
Hmm.
Told him that I wanted to get back into like some training or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can happen.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
that's what he
'cause
mainly do now.
I think a beginning training, like I still remember all the like what are they indicators and all. I still remember all that stuff because I was really into it.
Right.
I can once I do a little refresher, I think I'll be good. But I definitely want to dive back into like options. At
Like he
first,
said, it's just like riding a bike. Once you get a little piece of it, everything's
mhm.
gonna snap back together.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah, I'll never forget charting because I did it so much. Like I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
And then I'm so big into like analytics too. So
Mhm.
naturally, this stuff should come to me very well
Yeah,
if I can focus on like when I decide to focus on like right now, I'm actually willing to focus on it.
right,
So because I'm an analyst, so I'm analytical already.
right. Yeah,
So
only take a couple days. Couple days
yeah,
to get you back in.
yeah, definitely. So it's been nice talking to y'all though. I'm gonna go in here and cook and get ready
Okay.
for tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of y'all week and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Okay, sister. Take
All
care.
right,
All
y'all
right.
take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. All right, Chris. I'm probably the thing, big dog.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
All right, later.
Later.